What's going on, everyone, and happy Wednesday, and welcome back into the Ryan Ripken Show. And if you're new to the show or you're finding us for the first time, welcome in. We do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're based out of Baltimore, Maryland, and we like to talk a lot about Baltimore sports, but we are sports people, and we're also food people. And every Wednesday, we are cooking here with the Iron Rooster. We'll get to what we're cooking with Kyle today here in just a moment. Well, why don't we talk to you a little bit what's on our docket today? Well, every Wednesday, like I said, we like to cook, but it's also our fitness day. You know, eating, working out goes hand in hand. Shout out Merit Clubs here. So you all, as the audience, the fans, you're going to vote on what workout we're going to do after indulging ourselves in some delicious food. As far as for baseball topics, sports topics, hey, look, there has been some rumors that have started to circulate. And who doesn't love a good rumor on May 28th of who could be the new manager in Baltimore? We had Jerry Hairston Jr. on yesterday and asked him what it meant to have a manager that you trusted in and had the leadership skills you wanted. And he explained what the Dodgers manager, Dave Roberts, has done, and he listed two candidates that he thinks people should keep their eye on. And then the conversation around prospects and what to do with them. And the general manager of the Royals, J.J. Picollo, talked about his top prospect who is tearing it up in the minor leagues. And it makes you think, could the Orioles bring up their top prospects soon? As we move around baseball, there's some drama, at least around the Nationals. I should say criticisms. Ken Rosenthal talks about the Nationals' struggles. And Mike Rizzo, the general manager, fires back with his comments of where he thinks his ball club is. And Terry Francona talks about how one former Baltimore Oriole has transformed their entire offense as they try to get back and going in the NL Central race, and then a whole lot more. But why don't I tell you who's in studio here to start off and behind the sticks? Welcome back, Mr. Kevin Ostreicher.
Yeah, although the camera doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. It's kind of being a little crazy on me right now, as you can see.
Isn't it?
Yep, it's 3. So it's unfortunate. Oh, there it goes.
Pick number 3, my lord.
There, up, and we're back. So
pick number 3. Do you know what movie that is?
no.
That's tough. And we have Zach Bollinger here in studio as well.
Look at Zach.
Zach, do you know that movie quote? Pick number 3, my lord.
Yeah, Zach also just did me
Shrek.
dirty. I saw what you did.
What'd you say?
Shrek?
Wow. He
Was
got
that,
it
was that
right.
a guess? Was that a guess?
Yeah, it was a guess, Kevin.
There's no way out of every
My
single
Lord, well, because
movie.
he said my lord, and I thought of like Lord Farquaad. I was
Oh.
like, oh, Shrek. I thought that was like a joke guess.
Well,
Oh,
0 for 2. The
At least I
only,
can hit something.
the only one that can rival you would be Intern Sam, which, by the way, Intern Sam is here.
Is here.
Hey, can we give Sam a hand wave?
Yeah, can we get the hand wave in there? There he is.
So Intern Sam is going to be making his debut on the sticks tomorrow. So tune in on Thursday as Intern Sam makes his debut there. But it wasn't his first time on the show. He's made his debut in the past and actually sat down yesterday with Zach. But we have our table situated because I just mentioned we got a little food. And welcome back for, I don't know what the time we've done this, but it's every Wednesday. And he doesn't like the name because he doesn't like the praise, but we're cooking with Kyle and the Iron Rooster. Kyle, happy Wednesday to you. How are we feeling? Good.
Feeling great. Nice and comfort food today, type weather today. So we went Monte Cristos.
Ooh.
Any feelings on the Monte Cristo? Do you have were you a Monte Cristo kind of a guy? You ever order a Monte Cristo at a restaurant? What's your history with the Monte Cristo?
I honestly feel when I order it, I don't know why I feel more sophisticated.
Oh,
Like I feel like when you say Monte Cristo, like I'm getting something
yeah.
that I feel that like I'm upping my order to you.
Okay.
Like if you're getting a regular breakfast,
Yeah.
you know what? Give me the Monte Cristo.
You're going elevated.
I'm elevating
Yeah.
my game.
That
But
makes-
also that my experience was I never had them for the longest time. And holy hell, if they're on the menu, I want it.
Yeah, it's a cool sandwich. I mean, it's a classic. We're gonna do 2 different types though. We're gonna stick with the classic and kind of get ourselves a measure, and then I'm gonna hit you guys with with a remix because, that's how we do it around here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go classic, and then we're going to do a fried chicken and candied bacon Monte Cristo.
Wow.
That got me fired up.
Wow.
That did. I mean, first of all, it smells great, but just I think this is going to be something that people will talk about for at least an hour, but hopefully longer.
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, but it's going to be messy. This will probably be our messiest endeavor yet. And we've had you've had some pretty messy endeavors, but those were accidents.
Yeah.
This one's going to be, there's an egg wash and there's brie cheese flying around. There's going to be a couple of different variations on this. Yeah, Wednesdays are great.
Wednesdays are great. And this weather, I know, can get you down and feeling gloomy because it's supposed to be April showers bring May flowers, but all it's done is bring more showers. And if you're a sports fan, maybe the weather is kind of how the baseball season has gone in Baltimore, except they did win 3 in a row. They got to start a new winning streak here in Baltimore. But the food, that brightens your day. Every time I go into Iron Rooster, it brightens my day.
Good. Well, that's our goal, right?
And I leave too full.
To brighten up your day. But if you're watching today, sit home on your couch, get a comfy blanket, wrap up with Ryan Ripken and this crew of delinquents from the peanut gallery.
Yes.
But no, wrap up with a blanket, eat a Monte Cristo, or at least think about eating a Monte Cristo. Order your favorite food tonight. But yeah, it's comfort food weather for sure.
Oh, cannot wait.
Yeah, we're
and you
excited.
know what? Kev and Zach got a chance to had brunch yesterday. Well, with an old friend I hadn't seen in a while, and a friend that I like, and he pitches every 5th day for the Orioles. Has really long, majestic hair.
Beautiful hair.
Beautiful hair.
Great hair.
Beautiful hair. He loves to cook. And Kyle, generous guy, gave him every roost tart imaginable.
I did.
As always.
Yeah.
But then Kyle's saying, hey, Dean, you like to cook? So we're going to get Dean in here eventually.
Oh, for sure.
So he can open up and is this Cafe Ripken? Did we discuss
This will be Cafe Ripken, yeah. It has to be Cafe Ripken.
Cafe Ripken, the Iron Rooster, cooking with Kyle at Cafe Ripken here at the studio.
Hit it. Yeah,
There it is.
That's the name.
The play on words.
Put it on a bumper sticker.
Bumper stickers making the trend back. So how much time do you need for the first one? Are you starting it right now?
I've got 2 on the grill. You're gonna make one yourself so that either we can all admire your work or laugh, or maybe both. Maybe a little laugh, a little cry. But yeah, when you want to roll a clip and then come on over and get this thing going.
And Jimmy Charles says we love the Iron Rooster.
We love Jimmy. Jimmy, good guy. Yeah.
Good guy. Jimmy, good guy. Very good guy. Saw him, I guess, 2 weeks. It's already been 2 weeks since the Preakness happened here.
Yeah.
Time flies here.
Friend of the show, friend of the program.
Yeah. Might have to take a shot for him here. But you know what here? Why don't we get into our first topic then, and then I'll make my way over to you, Kyle, and show you kids out there how you make a Monte Cristo. But the spiciest topic of probably the last 24 hours has been around this kind of growing rumor about, the Orioles eventually are going to have to make a decision on who was going to be the new manager. Now, Tony Manzolino, obviously interim manager. He has this team playing well down the stretch. His name's going to be in consideration. But it doesn't stop people, right, from thinking, well, what could be in the future? Who could be the next leader that comes into Baltimore? And that gets everyone's brain working. That gets emotions flowing. And so yesterday we had former Baltimore Oriole and longtime MLB veteran Jerry Hairston Jr. join the show. And he's out there covering the LA Dodgers. So first and foremost, I asked Jerry, well, give me your rundown of Dave Roberts as a manager. What makes him so good? And then Jerry couldn't help himself by giving us 2 options that he thinks the Baltimore Orioles should consider that could be the next Dave Roberts. So, Kevin, I'm going to play this clip for you guys right now. What that new leadership's going to be. Dave Roberts has been a staple for this team, and he's a veteran. In your mind, what's the value of having somebody that has been around for so long? Because I know with Baltimore, they're going to have to face Do we go and get somebody that's been there and done that? Or do we take a risk on a new voice, but doesn't have that experience with so much expectations to face?
That's a great question. And I know that they're going to have some decisions to make. What the Dodgers decided to do, they took a chance on a new manager years back, Dave Roberts. It was his first managerial gig, but they took a guy who understood analytics, but, and this is a huge but, is a baseball lifer. Dave Roberts, if you go back to his track record, he was a walk-on UCLA, right? He grinded his way to the big leagues. He was an everyday player. He was a 25th man on the roster. He came off the bench, obviously in the World Series, to steal that critical base for the Red Sox. So he did just about everything there was in that game, in the game as a player. Then he became a coach. But I think more importantly, too, Dave Roberts does an incredible job of communicating. He reminds me a lot of Dusty Baker. He makes sure that he has a great rapport with the stars like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts, but he also has a great rapport with guys before they get to the big leagues and lets them know, hey, even though you're on the 40-man and you have yet stepped foot at the big league level, I'm going to make sure I get to know you in spring training. So when you do get called up, we already know each other. So I think that is the key. It's not just in the big leagues. You hire a guy to be a cultural manager, big league level, and know the kid at A-ball, know the kid in AA and AAA, and make sure everybody's on the same page. Can you handle the media, especially in today's age, right? You got to be able to handle the media with social media and everything to be able to communicate with the front office, communicate, obviously, with the media, and be able to communicate with the players, from the stars to the rookie. You got to have that great rapport. And I think Dave Roberts does it better than anybody in sports, not just in baseball. But to get back to the Orioles, if you guys are looking for a manager, this is just my 2 cents. I would look at 2 guys. George Lombard, he's the bench coach of the Detroit Tigers. And I would look at Skip Schumacher. He's currently with the Rangers. Those 2 guys are great as far as mirroring that analytic world and being able to communicate with today's players. Those are 2 guys I would definitely have my eye on if I was going to choose a manager.
So Jerry gave a very descriptive conversation on that, which I love. And that's why I love Jerry Harrison Jr. Also, Jerry Harrison Jr. is a hell of a golfer, in case you're wondering. And look, I think what we want to get across here is when you're hiring someone new, being able to communicate and lead is essential. And you got to try to maximize the most out of your players. But also that's no knock to anybody out there, right? You have to find what works for you. And Dave Roberts, what he's saying was, Dave Roberts was a lifer, been around the game. First job that he had as a manager came at being the one that runs the Los Angeles Dodgers and helps them try to get to where they want to go, and that's to be World Series champions. And what have they done since Dave Roberts has been there? They've won 2. They have been the most consistent team in baseball. And you can say, well, look at all the talent that they have there. Anyone could win with that type of lineup. Well, erroneous, because you've seen it throughout history. You guys remember the Washington Nationals were supposed to be crowned as the team to win the National League East when they signed Scherzer, and they had this prolific pitching staff with Bryce Harper on that offense. And not only did they not even win the division, they didn't even make the playoffs. And look at what the Baltimore Orioles this year, even though with the expectations high, they've fallen flat in their certain cases. Texas Rangers were a team that was supposed to bounce back, and they're having their struggles. My point being, the Dodgers, no matter what, through thick and thin, have been able to play great baseball and have success. A big reason why, the guy that's running the show for them has continued to keep that group accountable, responsible, and he presses the right buttons at the right time. And Zach, yesterday, you were grinning from ear to ear when you heard one name.
Yeah.
Now Skip Schumacher, which if you guys forgot who Skip was the manager for the Marlins. And they had their big turnaround where Skip was at the helm. They went into a rebuild, new front office, and now Skip no longer there. So that's one name in George Lombard. You want to guess where George Lombard came from?
Where he came from, or where he's at right now?
Where he's at now is the Tigers. Where do you think that coaching tree started for him?
Where?
LA Dodgers under Dave Roberts. So 2 options there, but Zach, I'll let you go because you were grinning with Skip Schumacher.
I mean, I agree with everything Jerry said, because I think what truly is this new day baseball manager is, we've talked to so many Hall of Famers, Craig Biggio, mentioned about, sometimes there's too much analytics. And I think, Jerry pointed out one of the best things that a Dave Roberts does is he marries, the baseball player and the analytics. He has that baseball side. He's a baseball lifer. He understands the game. He lives and breathes baseball. So he gets the situational stuff, but he also uses analytics. But, Jerry talking about, hey, yeah, maybe the analytics are saying in this situation, we should bat this guy. But my baseball gut feeling is this guy that I'm got coming up to the plate is 3 for 3 tonight. He's grinded out at bats. That's who we're going with. So it's not always about going with the analytics. So I think a guy like Skip Schumacher, who has shown the ability to kind of, yes, he's going to look at analytics, but it's more than that. It's marrying the two and kind of finding that sweet spot of how are we using analytics to benefit us, but not allowing them to take away from this team, where maybe in the past, even with the Orioles, you've seen, a guy like a Ryan O'Hearn, he's 2 for 2, he's 3 for 3, 3 for 4, whatever it may be. And then it gets to the 8th inning, he comes up, but a lefty's on the mound, so they go with the righty. Righty gets out, and all of a sudden you're sitting there going, wait, O'Hearn's been your hottest player. Why is he not banging there? There are just times where you have to throw analytics out, and the baseball sense has to take over. I think that's kind of the perfect manager for the Orioles, is someone who can take all the analytics that they're given, because as long as Mike Elias and Sig Mejdal are in there, they're going to be analytics driven up top. So it's taking those analytics and not overdoing it. It's being able to marry, here's what the analytics are telling us, but here's how this team's playing. Here's what's going on the human side that the numbers can't calculate. Who's feeling good today? Who's, going out there and who's been playing with confidence, that stuff. And then being able to use the analytics to help that stuff instead of going solely off of that.
Yeah. And again, Kevin, I'll go to you. That's the point that I want to throw out there. I know saying spending money, the Dodgers, they have a 627 win percentage since Dave Roberts took over in 2016. 627.
Yeah. They've
consistently been at the top or near the top. Only one time they haven't won the division since Dave Roberts took over. That was 2021. And that was because the Giants outlasted them in wins. The Dodgers had 106 wins on the season, right?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at all this, yes, the one that steers the ship is important. And I'm curious, like George Lombard's interesting to me, right? Because we look at all the coaches that come from these prolific coaching trees in the NFL and around sports. I mean, Kevin, George Lombard coming from Dave Roberts and learning from him, and now the Tigers having a lot of success over there with A.J. Hinch at the head of that. I think that is an interesting one that Jerry threw out there, and I think that teams do look for, if you're not going to go with a savvy veteran, who is that next in line that can have that impact?
And it's the coaching tree part of it, right? Where I think, to me, you kind of look at the Orioles, and you can make plenty of arguments for them going and bringing in someone that has that experience. But, for me, if it's not going to be that guy and you want someone who has the ability to come in, motivate your team, and is that next young and up and coming coach, there's something you have to balance out with that in terms of, is this what that team needs? But if he's a strong leader, if he can come in and implement his ideologies and the way he wants his team to be and to go, man, I mean, I'd be all for it, because sometimes it's not always just about that. Now, personally, I think that having someone with experience would help this team out a lot. But if that's not the route that they go, it doesn't all of a sudden mean that, they're not going to be set up for success, because learning under guys like Dave Roberts and being around successful teams, sometimes all it takes is a shot and an opportunity. So, we'll see what ends up happening there. But for now, you're kind of riding it out with Tony and seeing what goes.
I agree. Can you hear me right now, Kev?
No, yeah. We
Can
got
you
you.
hear me?
We got you loud and clear.
Beautiful. Yeah. At the end of the day,
you're going to need someone that can come in there with expectations high, because I believe that no one in the Orioles organization, as far as general manager, that's not changing. So next year, whoever you pick, that is going to be the make or break depending on how the team does, because expectations are going to be high. So whoever you hire, you got to be prepared that the Orioles are going to be facing just as much pressure in 2026 than they did to start off the 2025 season. And if you like this video and you like the conversations, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live here in studio, getting ready to cook with Kyle and the Iron Rooster. And it's a double whammy for us here today, because why? Every Wednesday we're cooking, and then every Wednesday we're doing our fitness segments with Merit Clubs. And shout out Merit Clubs, by the way, at meritclubs.com. They were letting us give away month memberships, 2-week memberships, but now the pools are open. A little bit harder to give those out, but you know what they do have going on right now? If you sign up for a membership right now on meritclubs.com, you go 12 times in your first month, they will pay for your second month for free. So second month for free, as long as when you sign up to go to the gym, heck, you can go to the pool. Heck, you can come do a spin class with me or bar class. You see these? I could show you how this core looks, Zach.
I think we're good.
You're good? Do you feel better with the jacket on?
Yeah, they were talking about the jacket in the chat. So when you took it off, I was like, I'm putting the jacket on.
Yeah, and shout out Mr. Olympia, and shout out Dan Solomon sent me the jacket there. Got to make our way out there next year. So I'm getting the gloves on. All right, Kyle, hold on.
If the glove don't fit.
Can you hear this okay? Kevin? We good? Oh, you're checking in.
We're good.
All right. What are we doing?
Okay, so Monte Cristo's, right? This dish actually goes back a long time. You're talking like early 1900s. For those of us that were born in the 1900s, some of us remember that time. Not so much. Yeah.
Kevin, you were.
So us that were born in the 1900s.
Why is he?
Time out. You were born in the 1900s.
1998, but I don't like to take full credit for it because it was so
late.
Like, it was so late in the
he
time.
says
century.
born in the 1900s. You were like,
Yeah, but I don't like to take full credit for it, because I feel like once you get to like 97, 98, 99, does it really count?
It's not even taking full credit for it. It's just a fact.
Well, okay, fine.
You're still a 90s baby.
Yeah, but when you say when you say
like, it was,
90s,
like,
I think the
debatable.
people who were born in like the early 1990s,
like Kevin,
I have seen
was
them
bo-
take offense. To
Okay,
that.
Kevin, but also like I was born, I guess, 38 days into 2000. So like it would be one thing if I was like, yeah, I'm kind of like that would be like you were 2
I'm just saying
years
from my experience, someone who was like people who were born in like 91 or 92, they say, "Oh, you were born in 98. You don't know what the 90s."
Yeah.
Have you been
know?
bullied about this? This seemed very like
Not-
weird.
He had an answer. I'd have to say.
Animated conversation, I would
All
say.
right.
It's been an argument, I
So
guess.
you know what? This is why.
Boy, I
can't
went
take
down a
this
rabbit
forward.
hole.
You really did.
Yeah,
We also,
unintentional.
but why I feel sophisticated? This has some history to it.
It does, and we're talking early 1900s. So
Okay,
even
all right,
before I
yeah.
was born, I think I'm the oldest one here. So before even I was born, you're looking at like 1910. I think was the sort of first recorded date on the Monte Cristo, and the Count of Monte Cristo, a really good novel. If you ever get a chance, for those literary folks out there, this sandwich is kind of named after that. The cool part is it's got a little bit of everything, and we went triple decker today. So you're going to start, we're going to get a little messy, we're going to get it on the grill. I got a couple that I've already started and finished, so that way we can eat. So let's do it. So I've got 3 slices. You can use a brioche or a challah. I used a brioche here. So just kind of slice it thin. We got 3 separate sections. We're going to use the middle as sort of a buffer.
Okay.
It's ham, turkey, cheese, and then because we are who we are, we added bacon, right? You could not add bacon. So why don't you start? We'll start with this bottom piece here, Rye. Use cheddar, cheese. You got some cheddar over there. You can just put a slice down. And then
just one.
yeah, because it's going to melt. And then what are you feeling on the bottom? Are you feeling ham or turkey?
What are we thinking? Ham, turkey?
Turkey, gotta go turkey.
Okay, turkey on the bottom. I mean,
Okay.
we're just on the, assembly because we can flip it. So
Yeah, this
Kevin
could be the
realized-
top
Make 'em
if
feel
you.
better.
Yeah, I don't know if
Thank
Kevin
you, thank you,
realizes,
thank you.
which it doesn't really matter, but we'll start with the turkey. So yeah, once you put a couple more pieces on there, we can make it a little meaty. And then we'll go ahead and put the second layer on. The second, actually, let's throw some bacon on the bottom layer there too, right? And so you can just rip that in half and just kind of spread it out. Great. And then take that next piece of bread. You're going to put that over the top. Perfect. And then we'll take, I've got some provolone on there. Normally Swiss, but I just grabbed some provolone out of the restaurant. So go ahead and throw some provolone. You can do two pieces.
Oh,
there.
2 pieces.
Yeah.
2 pieces of cheese.
Let's go ahead and pull it so it at least separates out, and we'll get it melted. You got it.
And then
Perfect.
you give it a pat down.
Little pat. Oh, or
right.
smack.
Yeah.
Or spank.
Boom.
Just you got to make sure that it's
Hey,
in place.
got
Yeah,
it.
we want to see melted.
No.
So, and then we'll take a couple pieces of ham. You want to throw that on top there, and then we'll finish with the bacon. Feeling a little hammier?
Do I add more ham?
You can throw that last piece on there.
Oh.
Why not? It's our last sandwich of the day. And some bacon. Yep. Perfect. Yep. Another smack. All right. Then take that last piece of bread. You're going to put that on the top.
Yep.
Then that's where you want to give it a nice little smush just to keep everything kind of all the way down. And now here's where we're going to get messy. We're going egg wash. So you got a bowl of egg. This is the all the eggs combined, and then we're going to dip it. So you're going to go kind of down first and then just kind of flip it. You don't want to let the sandwich separate. So those big mugs of yours and
Wait, so I got to hold it.
Yep.
And then I turn it sideways.
You don't have to turn it sideways if you can kind of get it in
So I dunk this way or this way?
that way. Yep.
This way.
No, the
That
other
way.
way. Yep.
Okay.
Dunk.
Dunk.
Yep.
And you guys are wondering, is Sam Basayo getting called up? Well, stay tuned after this gets dunked into the sandwich here. Here we go.
That's a tease.
Yeah.
That's what they call a tease.
Okay.
in the-
Whoa.
Other side.
Yep. Other side. And if you can get the sides in, then great.
I'm going to just dump it this way.
Yeah. Just want to incorporate it. And what we're looking for.
Oh, it's falling apart.
That's all
Oh,
right.
Losing bread, dude.
medic.
And what we're looking for, yeah, that's gonna be great. Is we're gonna go right under the griddle there. Yep, because that egg will get it nice and golden brown.
We lost somebody.
That's okay. Man down. Well, a good thing is we're done on that side of it, so no worries. You're gonna be good. You can go ahead and deglove. You got a
Deglove.
liquid egg on there. And there's a trash can right behind you. And then. So we did 2, right? The one that you just did is kind of the classic Monte Cristo. And then we did a fried chicken, candied bacon, brie cheese Monte Cristo,
Wow.
which is going to be, I mean, that's the remix,
Yeah,
right?
That sounds
So
heavenly right there.
if one was in the 1900s, this one's definitely in the new millennium, I would say. And so and I've got those already cooked. And then we'll go ahead and cut these and tell me what you think, Ryan.
Oh, that's a great cut.
Go and then
Oh my goodness.
beautiful.
Oh my yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
Kids,
looking
this
sandwich.
is-
Yeah, hold that up. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Very good. Beautiful work.
It's got that new Monte Cristo smell.
It
too.
does,
Oh,
yeah,
does it?
which is
Really
what
does.
everybody tries to achieve. So you can go ahead and put that down, and then the sort of coup de grace here is going to be powdered sugar, and then I've got 2 sauces. I did like a raspberry mixed berry jam, and then a honey mustard. The honey mustard will do with the fried chicken, and the mixed berry blackberry raspberry jam will do with the original.
Okay.
And it's just a dip.
Is that okay with you guys? Intern Sam, you okay with that?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's roll.
Kevin, you have no choice.
Well, there's
No
no
nuts or
nuts.
no nuts?
No nuts in this one. I came prepared for Kevin, and then
Thank
that's
you.
what you're looking for.
Oh my goodness. This is good? Time out.
Well, let me go ahead and give you some sauce.
That looks.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Can you hold that up? Can you hold that up? Yeah. Try to focus it in a little more so that it. Yeah. Hold it up there. Hold it up there. Let's see if it'll zoom in on it. Oh no, it's focusing on Kyle. Do we think it's gonna autofocus? Nah. A little bit. There we go. Yeah. Oh, there. Now we got a good shot of your face. There. It's very bright. You can see the brightness in there. You
That's
did a
it.
good job modeling the food.
Yeah, that's a good looking sandwich.
Yeah,
I was happy with that one.
I saw someone say, or did Joey say Monte Basayo? Monte Cristo, Monte Basayo. That could be the new sandwich. Hey, there's an edge there.
I am well aware.
That was really close.
What's that? Fool me once,
On
right?
field awareness.
Yeah.
On field awareness, something I did not do well. And if you guys are just tuned in, up.
Almost.
Whoa.
No, you did good. I mean, you're a professional in every sense of the word.
Where the hell's my towel? Where's my towel so I can?
Yeah,
really
that's
feel
why
like
he's
I'm
been
in-
failing.
Yeah,
Is it over here? I don't know where.
yeah. You got
Good
one?
luck.
Thanks. You know, when you're look, you're not going to be perfect out there, okay? But one day you can rise up and make something just as good as I.
So good.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Is it just me that gets nervous
Yeah.
on the table?
Well, having seen you drop it,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
I'm
mean-
well aware of where our
Yeah,
spatial
yeah,
recognition
yeah.
is.
Hey, what's our next or what do you need to add here?
Nope, that one's good. If you want to go have a seat, I'm going to deliver
that's
these
mine
other
now?
for us.
You
That
want me to
can be.
deliver?
I mean, if you're up for it, go ahead and deliver. That one you have is the chicken. This is the original.
So what do you want me to have?
Well-
Are both these mine?
Both are yours, and then I'll serve the rest of the guys.
So
Boss eats first, as they say.
I was gonna say I'm a
Of
giver.
course.
I'm a giver,
Of course.
but this is mine.
Yeah.
Man, you're scaring us over here, man.
Oh, we're fine. Don't worry about
Those are fun.
And I think try it with the dressing too, with the little sauce that I made up, because I think that kind of gives it a nice, rich flavor and kind of classic, especially on the original Monte Cristo.
Oh gosh. Oh, can you give me my computer, Zach? Can you just be a stand-up guy? Look at that. We're so back.
Oh, whoa. You all right?
We're having problems here. But it's not the food,
Sheesh.
because I'm about to annihilate this. We do have to decide. So maybe, Zach, if you could help create a poll, because we're not going to do the competition anymore until we eat the food. You have to eat
Yes.
all
thank
the
you.
food.
Thank you. I remember the day that I came in here when I wasn't here, and I said that in the chat, and I got roasted for it, by the way. I said, why do I have to eat all my food? Why does all my food have to get eaten? But then Zach can get away with
Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry.
Not
I was-
today.
spacing it out.
Not today. Not anymore.
Here,
But
can
you know what?
Can we get a?
Turn it the other way, Kev. So we can see the.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get the insert.
So we can actually see the meat.
I wanted to get it.
So what's the poll? Are we doing?
Oh,
for
look at
exercise?
that. Look at that.
Move the sauce.
Oh yeah. Just gonna throw them both on here. All right, let me try again. Gotta get it.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Oh,
Look at
Got it.
that.
All right,
looks so good.
eat up. Tell me
All
what you
right.
think.
All right, so which one are we doing first?
I would do the original first. That way you
Which
kind of
one- which
get.
one
That's
did
the
you
one
get?
with the
The
raspberry,
raspberry one? Okay.
which intern Sam's already
Yeah.
three,
Chowing down.
five
He's
bites,
chowing
five
down.
bites in.
So wait, which one are we starting with?
The one with the
jam?
raspberry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raspberry.
So have a day, have a night.
I know I need to make sure that this
Are you okay,
still on
Kev?
here. Yeah, I just need to focus on where I'm putting the food so it doesn't drop off the table.
Ooh, unbelievable.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
All right, ready? Oh, I think it might be oh, it's gone. The camera's gone, Kev.
Let me get it back. There we go.
All right. Oh yeah. Hey, well, have a day, have a night, have a bite here. Cheers.
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh, camera's gone. Can you put it? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you. This is insane.
Shirts and pants. Yeah, I gotta make sure that it's still edible. Let me get another bite.
Yeah, and that's a sandwich that you can cook up at home. You know, it's not anything kind of too intricate. And you can use any bread you want. You know, we use a challah bread at the restaurant for French toast. So I just kind of grab that bread, slice it a little thinner, especially if you're cooking it. But you can do this in a saute pan too. That's the cool part. You know, we happen to have a nice little griddle here to be able to cook it on, you know, a high temperature. But if you cook it in a saute pan, use a little bit of butter and then just watch your heat That's my advice to those of you playing at home that want to try to do this. And this is kind of a cool sandwich that you can do for dinner. This is one of those breakfast for dinner type sandwiches, right? You're still getting kind of the sweet flavor of the bread and the powdered sugar, but still get the meaty, savory component.
This is unbelievable.
Turkey's really carrying his weight here.
Yeah,
Not gonna
you
lie.
like the turkey. Good.
Hey, just that's why some would say it slaps. There's that extra that I gave it.
That was.
the extra love you gave it.
Yeah.
It's all about
Spank.
love. The extra spank.
More of a-
I said slap, but if
Yeah.
it can be a spank too. It's all with tender love and care.
Yep. That's how you cook.
That's how you cook. Do we try the other one?
Yeah, I want to know about the other one. The other one I made up, so there was no kind of spec on that. I took some fried chicken. That's a honey mustard dressing that you have, candy bacon, and brie cheese, and then some more turkey.
When I'm done with this one, I'm gonna hold it up to the camera so people can see.
All right, good idea.
Well, great. I'm just gonna eat this right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kevin, you do that.
it's got a honey mustard dressing with it too.
Oh, wow. All right. Have a day. Have a night. Have a bite. Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
How do you think of this?
that one was just kind of a riff. I really was looking around and thinking, what could I do?
That might
Kinda
be
be-
better than the original.
I had a feeling. I was really excited when I kind of came up with that thought. I was like, well, this one I could see being something different that people may like, but also too kind of right up our alley. It was a remix. Yeah, the original's good, but sometimes the remix is better.
My God.
Good time over there, Zach.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. You got to put that on the menu.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that going on the menu?
I don't know. After today, maybe a special that we run.
I think that has to.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I mean,
I
both-
literally just finished a new menu, like as we're talking. They're putting the final touches on it, and I don't want to look at new food for at least a week.
well, too bad.
Yeah.
You're going to have me come bartend.
Yeah,
We're putting this on the menu.
yeah.
Cafe Ripken, one day only.
Well, we might sell out.
Yeah,
When people
obvious.
know that you're going to be behind the bar.
Well, I get a little generous with the
pour.
with the pours.
I think that's why people will be excited to see you. I think they know, hey, I'm getting a 2-for-1 out of this deal.
Well, I think when we did the Rooster Rumble over there,
Yeah.
definitely for those that stayed after, there was some generous pours.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we're missing a couple of bottles of something or other. It's just it's like,
Oh, man.
how did we go through a case of Deep Eddy in a matter of minutes here? Wait a minute.
It was for the community.
Yeah, it was a good cause. Yeah, no, we were doing stuff. That was the Ogden Foundation. We were doing good stuff with the Ogden Foundation.
And their event, the golf tournament's next week.
We'll be out at the Ogden Golf Tournament. We're excited. Shout out to our friend Wendy, getting ready for the Ogden, and we've got a couple of events coming up here. And Father's Day coming up in just a couple of weeks as well. So if you're thinking about what to get Dad for the big holiday,
A Monte Cristo.
a fried chicken Monte Cristo, yeah, could be.
I'll tell you what.
and shout out Wendy.
Yeah, and shout out Wendy.
Yeah,
All right, here is the
fried chicken, brie cheese, candied bacon, turkey, regular bacon.
look at how good that looks.
How am I supposed to chip with this going on, Doug? What movie is that, Kevin?
Happy Gilmore.
Wow! Hey,
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, Kevin, well done.
I did the Zach special there. Try to look for context clues
You
for
did.
the movie.
I'm proud of you, man. And it went dark again. Oh, we're back. And permanently temporary. Is that an oxymoron?
Permanently temporary would actually be probably the definition of
Of an oxymoron, right?
yes. Or temporarily permanent would be the. Yeah.
I was trying to think of a word like gigantic, minuscule, something. You know what? It's been a while since
Yeah.
I went back.
That's
to
okay.
school.
Don't go back.
But I'm trying to figure out what's Permanently temporary says I'm trying to figure out what's really going on with said, but this will do.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to talk baseball, but we got to eat. We got to enjoy ourselves, right? You got to have a good time.
It's raining, comfort food.
Is it a hyperbole?
Hyperbole is more like an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's what you're exaggerating. So like when Kevin says like, he was seconds from death, he was 3 hours from death.
Yeah, that's
when
hyperbole.
he ate nuts.
Or like
Yeah.
he was the best baseball player his school had ever seen.
I was, for me, I like to be the best at something that's very unorthodox. So like I was the best baseball player who wore khakis on the field.
Not hyperbole.
That's-
That's just the fact. Yeah. That's just khakis. Was that part of the uniform?
No,
That was your
it's actually these. It's these stretchy Under Armour khakis, and I
Yeah.
wore them to practice.
And the
And
cross country.
it's how I got my nickname, Khaki Kev. Was
I had wondered where that nickname had come from all these years. This
all
is the
these
origin,
years.
the origin story of Khaki Kev.
Yeah.
Khaki Kev might have to be a thing. It could be a. Is
Yeah.
that's I was gonna say it's a
I have
it's
a lot
a
of-
friends thing, but like it's not because
Well, most people call me Kev, but then Khaki Kev was one, and then I had K Dog has been the one, and then my DJ name was DJ Knockout because my Kevin Ostriker KO, my initials. So DJ
all right.
Knockout was
see
my
that.
DJ name.
which
trying to think.
all checks out.
I could see
Yeah.
a T-shirt that says "I know Khaki Kev," like a
Oh.
T-shirt idea.
There
like,
might be like
yeah,
I know Khaki Kev
Yeah.
would actually
Khaki
be
Kev sent me.
incredible.
yeah. Any T-shirt people out there that can,
and we can make
we
it a
whip up?
khaki shirt,
yeah,
a khaki
Oh
shirt,
my gosh.
All right,
I-
fashion statement time.
No, that's where I draw. the line.
Oh,
I can
come-
see people in Baltimore really wearing this shirt out.
we
Yeah,
can do that. We can give guest shirts that like I survived a podcast with Khaki Kev.
With Khaki Kev. Yeah,
Yeah, after I have him,
Khaki
after,
Kev sent me.
after I have him on Locked On Ravens, I'll
Yeah,
be like,
I
all right, I'll
survived.
send you a shirt.
Yeah,
you,
just gotta send
survived.
them
Do we play on words? So it'd be like Khaki Kevin, Khaki Kev, Denim DeSangro. Like if we want to do
Denim
Rocco.
de Sangro.
Dude, I'd wear full denim. That could be an outfit. I would do it. I
Yeah,
did the Canadian tuxedo before.
Like the denim jacket with the
and denim like
the-
jeans.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, but I'm just
You
saying.
know
got-
jeans, Kevin?
I know.
Or just khakis.
I've heard it. No, I'm not a huge jeans guy.
Obviously,
No,
you don't get
yeah.
called Khaki Kevin.
You would have a different nickname altogether.
That's like, yeah, your nickname's Khaki Kevin, and then like, oh yeah, but I actually prefer jeans. Like that's insane.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? In this case,
I'm
though,
committed to it.
to put the whole tie on the knot of oxymorons and that whole situation because it's important to know. I actually just had it right here. Oxymoron, a figure of speech in which apparently contradictory terms appear in conjunction. So the sentence that it uses here, that fashionable rhetorical novelty, the humble brag, is itself an oxymoron. So, because you don't want to brag,
Right.
right? Because then you're
Yep.
boasting, but you're saying you're humble, but you're not.
That makes sense.
You know?
So he was humbly bragging.
Here's the
Kevin
best
was
khaki
Kev.
baseball player.
Yeah.
Humble brag. I was the best
Yep.
baseball player of a band that wore khakis.
It's
You
true.
guys be the judge here. Goodness gracious. If you like the channel and you're still here, appreciate you guys.
It. Thank you.
Hit that like and subscribe button. As you know, we're cooking with Kyle and the Iron Rooster every Wednesday here in the Iron Rooster. They're located all across Maryland, College Park, Canton, Hunt Valley. Which one am I? Annapolis, the original one.
The OG. Yep. The Annapolis location just celebrated 10 years.
Yeah.
And, Canton will be at 10 years this October. So we're excited. Going to have a little shindig, I'm sure, as we get a little closer. But yeah, 10 years. It's hard in this business, 10 years, but we've proud. I mean, it's a great staff, a great team of people that we have working with us every day, putting out great food, great service, hospitality. That's kind of our motto. But we always appreciate you letting us come on and showing what we do, even if it's hyperbole to say that we'll have this temporarily permanent. But no, I think that that's a sandwich that I definitely would. I look at that for the fall for sure. Kind of feels fallish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a good one.
I got to tell you, this is
Good. Well, yours
Yeah.
turned out great too. I have to say, you did a great job. I mean, as messy as it was, I'll clean up here. Don't worry.
I know no one could slap it. No one could spank it like I could.
Nope. That's
Yeah.
a t-shirt idea too.
That
If we could just clip that.
Right.
heel cinnamon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
All right.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. We're all about having fun here.
We are.
You know, in some cases, you really say something out loud and you're like, you know what? It sounded better in my mind.
Yeah.
Is where it should have stayed.
Well, in the broadcast of thousands of people too is probably not where you were thinking that was going to go.
Yep. Well, you know what? It's out there. Put
It's
it
live.
Put it on a shirt. Screw it. It's live. F it. It's live. Kyle, appreciate everything, man.
Thanks,
We're gonna
guys.
house this.
Yep. Knock it out.
I'll let you continue to clean up. And if you want to hop on and say some words while you're cleaning up, you know.
Yep. You throw it to me whenever you need a dumb opinion. I'm here for you.
Well, now it's there's some memes that are going to be coming out of that clip now.
Good.
I can already see the comments. This is
As it should.
going to be great. Well, guys, we appreciate you. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're based out of Baltimore. We talk about all types of sports, but yeah, we keep it to the Baltimore area. Why? Because that's where we're from here. So we talked earlier about the manager situation. I wanted to discuss something else. Excuse me. And that was actually along prospects. I think it's a good conversation to have now. It's not just the Orioles prospects, but across baseball. And when do you bring a guy up, especially a highly touted player that has a lot of expectations or you think could help the big league team right now? So I want to start this conversation because it is going to revolve around one Orioles prospect in Sam Basayo, but it starts with the top prospect for the Kansas City Royals, Jack Caglione, who is just absolutely on a tear. And general manager of the Kansas City Royals, J.J. Piccolo, talked about Jack's hot start up in AAA and when would be the right time to bring him up. And I think his answer is interesting, and we're going to have a conversation here on the other side.
5 in a week is a pretty good accomplishment. How far he hits him, how hard he hits him, that's not too surprising. That's been his track record for a number of years. So I'm just glad that he got off to a good start. He did a great job. And then he went out and, he did it. He really couldn't do any better. So it's good to see. The hardest part about this for us is we're trying to do what's best for the player. I mean, that's ultimately what this is. You want the player to be as prepared as he can when he comes to the major leagues. It's not fair to any player, whether it's Jack Caglione or whoever. When a team may be scuffling offensively to try to put it on him and hope he's going to come save the day. The best way to break any player into the major leagues is to try to bring him up when the team's hot, offensively scoring some runs. That's not why he's not coming up right now. We just want him to face more advanced pitching in AAA, see how they game plan for him, how he adapts and makes adjustments, not just game to game, but at bat to at bat. It'll take, I don't want to put a timetable on it, but we want to see it for a little bit. I mean, this first week was great, but we certainly weren't saying when he went to AAA, have a good first week and bring him to Kansas City. AA, they may be trying to pitch him a certain way. The execution's just different. AAA, the pitchers are more advanced and they'll be able to hit their spots more often than a AA pitcher, for the most part. So, watching how they pitch him night to night, one team to the next. He went through it a little bit with Tulsa. First time he faced Tulsa, they pitched him one way. The next time they pitched him differently. So he learned something from that. But that's certainly what's going to happen here. Whatever weakness there might be, major league pitchers are going to game plan for it and try to exploit it.
So I thought that was an interesting conversation because when you look at Jack and what he did during spring training for the Kansas City Royals, sat there and went, damn, he looks like he's going to be a player. And sooner rather than later in the big leagues, he's going to get his opportunity. And you heard earlier saying, well, when the team's hot, that's when you want to bring a guy up. But that's not what we look at. And that's not why the Royals are making any moves, because they also want to see him develop in the minors. And there is an importance of facing pitchers at a certain level where you feel like you can start to master that and you move on. Why am I bringing this up? Because then another top prospect that's in Baltimore, well, guess what? People have started to ask the question with all the catching injuries. Well, when is one Sam Basayo going to make his debut in Baltimore? because it seems like after he's been injured, and I know his batting average is a little bit lower, but you've been seeing highlights. It's been a home run here, home run there. And people are saying, well, when do you start the clock? When do you give him more of an opportunity? And so I want to explain a little bit more about that and why I have my reservations. But again, I want to shout out our friends over at MerriClubs.com and MerriClubs. Thank you very much. Again, if you're looking for a membership, you sign up. First month, you go for 12 days. In the first 30 days, you get the next month free on them. So MerriClubs, appreciate you guys. Now, here's my reservations. And I like the fact that he talked about JJ saying putting the player in the right position. I don't think the right position is for Sam Basayo to come up to Baltimore given the circumstances of this team. If you're looking for Sam Basayo to be a hero, he's not going to play hero ball. If you're looking for Sam Basayo to be the everyday catcher, he's also not going to be given the reins to do that. But overall, the experience for Sam Basayo, he is 20 years old. And when you're looking at the development of a player and going through the full ups and downs, he's starting to do that. But if you look at his sample size, it's still very, very minimal. So let me go through this right now. He has spent 51 total games in AAA. 51. And his batting average compared from last year to this year has still not eclipsed 245. And I know people say batting average doesn't matter as much anymore. Erroneous on all accounts. Erroneous. No chance you know that movie quote.
So what? So what? Happy Gilmore.
Nope, Wedding Crashers. But
that's what you heard me say W. I was gonna say that.
That's next. I didn't hear that. But my point is batting average matters to me because you have to be able to square up the guy you're facing. Now his OPS this year is over 900, right? That's great. People love that. He's got 9 jacks on the season, but you got to see him go through failure. And I think as he continues to get more reps, that's going to be great for him. And then talk about him after the deadline and you're looking at August or September. If he's ready, then you come up. Because you know what also happens, Zach? If you call up Sam Basayo, what's going to happen, you think?
Going to struggle.
He's going to struggle. And then what do you think the other conversation is going to become with the current catcher on this staff? Well, what are you going to do with Adley? And I think Adley is going to be a staple for this team moving forward. And he's got to figure some things out. But I do believe in the talent of Adley Rutschman. I think you're going to cause more controversy on a team that you don't need at this current moment in time. That's my personal opinion. Now, if Adley was out for a long period of time, that's a different discussion. Should be back soon from avoiding the concussion IL. But let him play it out and let Sam Basayo learn what he needs to do. I think Jack Caglione on the other side of it, I think he's going to the big leagues soon. I think Kansas City's team, where they're at, where he's at, their structure, their culture, I think Jack's going to be up there well before Sam is going to be up there. That's my personal opinion. But you guys see what I'm saying, Zach, on that? Like, Are we in agreement on it, or what do you guys think? Or Zach, go ahead.
I don't think we see one. I think just solely, I know people with Adley being injured or dealing with the protocol that people are like, oh, well, this is the perfect time to bring up Basayo. I think Basayo's caught 5-6 times this entire season because of injury. I mean, he's been DHing, he's been playing elsewhere. So I agree. It's not going to be today. It's not going to be, I doubt it's going to be this week. I doubt it's going to be this month. I doubt it's going to be next month. I could see, maybe in July, if he's still performing well. I think they want to see him struggle some, honestly, in AAA and see how he adjusts, because we talked about it with Jackson Holiday. It felt like all he'd seen is success. He gets to the top and he starts failing. And it was like, okay, he didn't have enough time to adjust and get past that failure. So when you're doing something similar with Basayo, a 20-year-old, I mean, he's 20 years old. This isn't a guy who's been sitting down there. This isn't a Kerstedt. This isn't a Mayo where you're like, hey, he's seen way too much AAA hit or pitching. Let him get opportunities, continue to grow as a player. Just honestly, like, learning how to continue to be a catcher in pro baseball. And I think you can only benefit from keeping him down there right now. I don't think right now throwing him up there and then suddenly you have to play him every day because you can't do the thing of, hey, we're going to bring you up and play you every other day. That's going to just stall his development. And then on the other side, if you bring him up and he doesn't succeed, now there's all this pressure on him. We saw Jackson Holiday. He gets brought up. He doesn't succeed right away. He said, oh, he's a bust. We got to trade him. Pressure begins to mount. So I just don't think with everything going on that this is the best time for a 20-year-old to get, flung into this lineup and be like, hey, save the day.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, take us into the mindset on the other side from Sayo's perspective. What's his mindset? Is he saying to himself, "Oh, I should be there," or I mean, you know the athlete side. So what's that mindset? Take the fan and the anyone else thinking what they know better than. What would be on that side? How does he see, or how do you think he sees this process? And are you just happy to kind of just get reps every day and just your time will be there if you just continue to what's that mindset look like?
Well, I think the answer out loud will be, I'm just going to continue to wait my turn and go out there and do what I can. And when my time comes, it comes, right? That's going to be the answer out loud. Now, internally, you're telling yourself, I think I'm ready. I still think when I'm looking at it, when you're looking at what he could work on, he needs a little bit more seasoning. But the confidence of the player, and that's like for Sam's confident. So he's sitting there and he believes, like if it was spring training, and heck, he really hadn't played in AAA. If you had said, Sam, you're going to the big leagues, he'd say, I'm ready. Like he would believe that he could go out there and do it. So I think that's that fine line. And I think that whenever the move does happen, how do you keep him with that same confidence, if that makes sense, right? So if he is that confident as a player, would you rather see him continue to build that in AAA, and then once you call him up, he's there, right? I don't want any wish-washy, give him a full run, because that's also the part of the development. And JJ Piccolo, the Royals GM, is looking at it as, how do I make sure when Jack Caglione gets called up that he has that same confidence that he's going to go out there and hit a home run every night?
Right.
It's the same thing with Sam Basayo. So that's how I look at it with him. I think that he's matured more, but that hunger as a player, you want to test yourself against the best.
Let me just go.
And when everyone tells you how great you are too, that also plays into it.
Sure.
I've mentioned that to you before, and you guys, Kev, Zach, intern Sam, if you haven't heard, now you're going to hear, is when everyone tells you how great you are, yeah, you can believe the hype, but then you also want to go out there and prove you are the best. So I think that's the other part of it. We've heard Sam Basayo is the next best catching prospect out there. He's a man amongst boys. And every team last year, over the last couple of years, wanted him, and the Orioles wouldn't trade him and Jackson Holiday because of the upside is remarkable. All right, well, do you believe the hype? Are you going to live up to the hype? But really, can you just go out there and perform? I don't care what anything else happens. That's what he's going to have to do. So I hope I answered that question. I think that's what Sam's going to have to do when his time comes. But do you want him to come up in a situation where you're 10 days in to a new interim manager? There is stress and pressure already in that locker room where guys are fighting for their jobs. You already have another catcher that's there that's trying to get his footing back. I think that also matters in the conversation too.
That was my other question to you, is that then, so take us inside the locker room on the side of other players coming up. I mean, you've got, we'd say he's 20, right? Mm-hmm. You got guys, I mean, Charlie Morton's almost my age at this point. So, I mean, you're like this dichotomy. What would be that mentality on the other side from the locker room? I mean, everyone would say the right thing, right? Oh yeah, just want to win and just have people come up that can help out. We get all that, but internally, is there any kind of like, well, wait a minute, I'm here. Now I have to prove myself. I mean, how could that be even?
They'll be supportive. They'll be so supportive of him. But deep down, you're saying, well, yeah, I want to prove myself here. Now, and the one that, in this case, when you have someone that could challenge your position, I think that's where it gets a little bit interesting. Mm-hmm. I remember, here's a story for it. Quick story time. You guys see that JC Escar is on on the Yankees now.
Yeah.
Backup catcher. But JC and I were teammates in Frederick and also then in AAA in 2021 with Norfolk. So 19 we were together, 21 we were together. And we played the same position. And my reps or his reps were going to be dictated by our performance at times. But for me, and I tell people this all the time, I said, I always want the best for JC because as a human and as a teammate, and I know how hard he works, I want him to go out there and play well because I know what he's put into it. And that's why I'm so happy for him because I know how much stress and strain he went through. But when you're on that team, you're also trying to say to the front office and to the group, I deserve my reps too. And so that year in 2019, like the best way that you do it is you control what you can control. You go about your business the right way. And for me in 19, I had a good night. I got hurt, got hot, got moved up to AA, had a good end of the year in 2019. In 21, it kind of fell off. But the point being, that's in the minor leagues and the human element. And when you get to the big leagues, it's the same thing. I mean, you guys remember Kyle Stowers would come on and saying these guys were his best friends on the team, which it's true. They are his best friends, but he's also competing with Colton Cowser for a roster spot, right? He's competing with Heston Kjerstad for a roster spot. And they chose those guys over Kyle. That's the nature of it. Doesn't mean you have to change what you do, but it does mess with people psychologically. These are examples of where at the time, it doesn't impact their relationship, but it affected their play.
Right.
Kyle Stowers was domed up. But it just all of a sudden, he just figured out how to be a good hitter in the big leagues.
Right.
His reps, but you think he didn't have the talent to be there? Like that's what I try to play or explain to people. And Kev, I mean, I think you want to talk about Heston Kjerstad.
Yeah.
We talked about him. I think it's a great example. Heston seems a little domed up because he's not playing as much, or he's not playing every day. He was chosen to be on this team. And now they're like, well, wait a minute. We got these other outfield prospects down in the minors. Why don't we give them a run? And a lot of people are ready to jump ship, right? Like, am I paraphrasing what you were thinking?
No, I mean, and it not even as a matter of the prospects, but even guys like Ramon Laureano stepping up, Dylan Carlson, providing help for this team in spots. And so for Heston, it's a tough situation because you want him to be able to play as much as he can to see what you have in him. But if he's not helping the team, especially with the hole they've dug themselves in this season in particular, if he's not the guy to help you dig out of that hole, then, do you bring him back to Norfolk and say, hey, figure it out again? But then what's there left for him to figure out in AAA? There's nothing. So, it becomes a conversation of you are getting reinforcement soon with Colton Cowser coming back, Laureano at some point, Westberg will be back soon. And so even on the infield, you have to have a tough conversation. I mean, Emmanuel Rivera has been helping you out a ton this season, but is he the odd man out here? Because obviously it feels like they're not going to move on from Mateo. They value him, and we all know that they value him. Arias isn't going anywhere. So Rivera feels like a guy who's been helping you this season. It's a tough pill to swallow, but you got to do it because you have Westbrook coming back who can help you. And it's the same thing with Cowser. I think the difference is that Heston, and people talk about Kobe Mayo a lot as well in this same breath, but Kobe hasn't had as many opportunities as Heston has, even though Heston hasn't had, this wide array of opportunities. But Kobe's a little different in my opinion because, we haven't really seen him get consistent at bats, where at least Heston has been able to come in and, get at least some opportunities. So I don't know what the future holds for Heston. If he gets sent down, I've said it on Kevin and Zach React, feels like that might be the end for him in Baltimore, just because I wouldn't want to be yanked up and down like that. But at the same time, he hasn't produced in the opportunities that he's been given for the most part. And, when you're not getting that consistent playing time as a young player, trying to find your way, it can be tough to find your footing without knowing what your role is going to be every day.
I agree. And we're going to play a little fun game for a second. And it's, how much do you think you know with two players, Heston Kjerstad and with Kyle Stowers? Okay. I think it's a fun little exercise. Ooh. And you know why? Because I made it up, right? That's what I want to do. And that's how I like to roll here. And intern Sam's going to figure it out. If he doesn't know, now he knows. And you know what? Intern Sam doesn't know. Tomorrow, he's going to just have to do a random challenge as being the behind the scenes guy. Yeah, there you go. That's our initiation here, Sam. Don't you worry. You're a good kid. I don't care what everyone at Friends told me about you. You're a good kid. Yeah. So here's the fun game, okay? I want you to tell me how many at-bats you think Kyle Stowers currently has in his big league career. His entire big league career. Anybody? Oh, wow. That's too high for you. That's really tough.
It is. How many at-bats I think Kyle Stowers has in his whole big league career?
Uh-huh.
Can I get an above or below? Or do I just have to off the dome totally?
Over or under 250 at-bats.
Over under 250. Okay. I'm going to say under.
Okay.
Under that. I'll put it at 227.
Okay.
How's that fair?
You're wrong. I award you no points. Kyle Stowers almost has double those at bats.
So we're
Wow.
so we're talking closer to like 440, 450.
497.
497. Okay.
Kyle Stowers has 497 at bats in the big leagues.
Yeesh.
And going into this year,
I'm getting exposed.
oh yes, you are. Going into this year, he had 313 at bats. Going into this season in the big leagues. And the year last year, we had 156 at bats in the big leagues in Miami and hit 186. Okay. So let's go to the other side then real quickly. Heston Kjerstad. Over or under?
Still 250.
300.
300. It feels like in the time that I've seen Kjerstad play, it's almost like every 4 days I see him take a starting rep and even an at bat.
So he's came up in 2023. It was his first big league games.
I'm gonna say 197.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over. Oh no, sorry, it's under 300, 266.
266. Okay. I was closer in striking distance.
This year, and this is what I was kind of alluding to, it's kind of eerily close to Kyle Stowers. Kyle Stowers in 50 games last year and 156 at-bats hit 186. Heston Kjerstad this year in 47 games and 137 at-bats is currently hitting 190. So I'm just throwing that out there.
They might be the same guy. They just might be the same guy.
Yeah. So I think that what people need to understand is you don't know what you're going to have, but you hope that you can let them figure it out. And guess what? They might not figure it out here. I am bullish that Heston Kjerstad's going to figure it out. I just don't know if that's going to be as a Baltimore Oriole at some point or somewhere else. But Kyle Stowers did. Now, not every prospect's going to figure it out, but Heston Kjerstad deserves at least a little bit of leniency there. Don't give up on the guy. He's played less than 99 games in the big leagues. That includes pinch hits. He's not 99 games, 266 at bats. You do the math there. I'm almost 4 at bats a game. That's just under 400 at bats. Right? And he's got 266. So he'll cinnamon with this giving up on Heston Kjerstad crap.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin.
Oh, okay. I'm not giving up on him as a player.
Oh, as a person.
No, wow, that's the
Wow.
Okay.
Kevin
Oh,
believes
my
in the player, not
I
the person.
just, yeah.
The player, not
Wow.
the person.
That's hyperbole right there.
Yeah,
That is a hyperbole right
Yeah.
there.
I cannot believe this. I am saying that if Heston gets sent down, I'm not sure if Baltimore is the right place for him anymore.
I'm
That
not
is what
giving
I'm
up
saying.
on the player, just the
Just
person.
the person.
Kevin
Never
Oswald.
said no.
Wow.
As a
No,
person,
no. Heston and I, people thought that I was going to jinx Heston when I asked him a question about why he was hitting so well, and I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he
Look at him now.
struggled.
Look at him now.
It all stems back to that.
Get him a khaki Kev
Yeah.
t-shirt. Yeah.
I didn't survive talking to.
Oh, man.
But Ryan, doesn't that happen a lot where it's like this idea that almost like it's a video game? Like I'm just like on to the next guy. Like, just bring him up and he'll be better than, and, as opposed to these things take time.
Yeah.
Development takes time,
It does. I mean, we've talked about this. We'll start with the baseball side because people can, they want to look at the baseball side. Who's the Orioles' best hitter on the team right now?
Percentage-wise?
Ryan O'Hearn.
Mr. Brohern, Ryan O'Hearn, right?
Yep.
He was cast away from the Royals. They said, hey, it's not working out here. Opportunities were dried up. Come to Baltimore, where he wasn't on the team to start. We should post that video one day, Zach, where Ryan O'Hearn got the call from Mike Elias, which he thought was welcoming him to the team. It was just to tell Ryan O'Hearn, we're DFAing you again, designated for assignment.
While he was on the golf course. And then no one picked him up, so he got outrighted to Norfolk and then starts the season in AAA and then works his way to the big leagues. And right now, going into yesterday's game, he had the 5th highest batting average in baseball. All-star, right? Hitting well over 300. It was 340 last time I checked that. I got to check on it right there, right? So there's that example. But when you started the restaurant business, the Iron Rooster, are you guys a better restaurant for what you're able to do back in the first few years?
No,
to where you are now?
No, that's exactly it. It takes you time to figure things out, and you make mistakes. And, unfortunately, you're dealing in high dollar amounts in business or in baseball. People's, I guess, their patience runs pretty thin. But like I said, it's a lot of this is just this idea. We almost look at them as like characters. Like, I can just replace one character for the other, as opposed to saying, well, wait a minute, let's kind of see. And, the opposite argument's always going to be, well, if you don't move on, when's it time to move on? And, you get all that. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of this is just some patience. And plus, 2 years ago, where the Orioles were, right, we kind of got spoiled in the sense that they were well ahead of schedule at that time as well. So, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's probably best to take a step back and kind of let things play out. But, some people don't have the patience as others. Obviously, Khaki Kev over there.
Yeah.
The player hate the person.
Yeah, that is really it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never,
Man, went personal.
Really, it's supposed to be the opposite, though, Kevin. It's not about what you do on the
Heston.
field. It's how you are off the field. For
And
you, it's like
Heston is great off the field.
I believe in you on the field, and I really despise you off of it. That's kind of what I heard from there. So Heston,
no.
I apologize twofold for Kevin. For one,
Okay.
trying to tinker with your swing and your mindset and your overall vibe, and then also, for everything else that's happened.
Man, Heston's 3 homer game tonight's gonna be a movie.
Tonight would be the night to hit out, right? It's going to be a little warmer, rainy, humid.
I hate rain games stink.
Are they
Yeah.
gonna play tonight?
I don't think so. Intern Sam, see you tomorrow.
All right, Sam.
All right.
All right.
Get ready for your test tomorrow.
You got it, buddy. Enjoy.
Also, real fast, what do we want for
The polls.
Yeah.
Oh, the workout.
I cannot lose today because I can't eat the sandwich. I'm so full from the first one.
Well, you got to eat all of it. That was your rule.
Hey, you literally made the
I made the rule, and you know what?
unreal
I
run
made the
today.
rule so I can unmake the rule.
This is an unreal run by Khaki Kev.
Yeah, I'm having
Hate
a
the
heck
hate
of
the
a show
player-
here.
Love the
Khaki
player.
Kevin hates people.
He hates the personal side of sports. He wishes that they could all just be.
It's so funny
computers.
because if you listen to Locked On Ravens, every show I talk about someone on the personal side. I'm like, it's like I love that stuff. Like
it doesn't like
hearing about who these people are, what they do, and now you guys are trying to tarnish my
Yeah, here we are.
reputation.
We have all these guys on talking about their life. And,
Yeah, and I
how
love
much
it,
we care.
and I love it, and I love it.
And how Jordan Westberg is not a producer. It's not all he does is produce. All he does is compromise, right? Like that's what Jordan told us, compromise because of his relationship with his wife, giving Kevin, working together because he cares about someone else off a ball field.
Yeah.
The person.
Yeah, it's good. I agree.
You know what?
Khaki
Backtracking
Kev
here.
thinks he should be gone.
He should be
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Trade everybody. Trade the whole team.
Yeah, we might have to do that soon, but we should try to figure out the polls. I think because ones that we haven't done yet is 2-minute jumping jacks.
That's easy work.
All right, and
I
then
guess not with food.
I
guess
put
not
40
with food.
weighted lunges.
40 weighted lunges.
with the
Okay.
vest on.
Okay, 40 weighted lunges. We can do that up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shaking.
We still haven't
last
done
week.
mounting climbers. Oh yeah, Kevin did
Oh,
the
is
wall
that 2
sit. Did you
minutes
see
of
that?
mountain
I didn't see the
climbers?
wall sit.
That was
I actually did a couch sit. I did it up against the couch, and 10 seconds in, my leg was just shaking, and then the other one started shaking, and then I was shaking. I did it though.
Let Heston review Kev's workout. That would be a video to watch.
We could always go back to burpees with because burpees stink. But 20 burpees with the weight vest.
How much is the weight vest? How heavy?
20 pounds.
20 pounds. Okay. I thought it was gonna be 40.
Do you want it to be 40?
No, I don't want it to be 40.
Oh gosh, Kevin. Well, you can think about that for a moment. Do it. So put up the options, Zach, for the
2
group.
minute,
We'll see.
2 minute
We'll see,
jumping
we'll
jacks,
see.
40 weighted lunges, 2 minutes of mountain climbers, and 20 burpees.
I don't know which one of those.
Are we good with those?
And are
Yeah.
we deciding with the shot? Are we shooting it today?
I want to do hook shots. I was practicing the hook shots before we started the show. I was doing my
All right, I'm starting the poll. There's the poll, though.
get the hook shots going. Oh, look at that form.
I have no words sometimes. But you know what? I do have words for all of you. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here. And it's like our Wednesdays, keeping it light. We're also talking baseball. I think we've had some great conversations, learned a lot about people while enjoying and a very respected sandwich in the Monte Cristo, which you are going to put the fried chicken on. I'm telling you what you're going to do at your restaurant. You are going to put that on the menu.
I take advice from the best. And the fact that you gave me that advice, I would say no hyperbole here.
No hyperbole, no oxymoron either.
I'd have to make it.
It was spectacular.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. That's one of those things that I just kind of came up with as I was walking out the door, and I thought, you know what?
Phenomenal.
Let's see if you guys like this one. Sometimes you hit it. Listen, sometimes you strike out, right? We've been there. So that's one of those menu items that I'm happy that you guys enjoyed. But yeah, we'll try to figure out something great to make for next week. I still got this thing, Ryan, and I know I've told you about it probably 5 times.
Yeah.
Where I'm not sure of the process yet that I want to get on this dish. So as soon as I can figure it out,
you let me know.
Then we'll bring it down. But yeah, Zach, it's gonna blow your mind. This one, I just can't figure out how to make it travel. There's always something that's hard to do, you know, when you're not inside of the kitchen, like a restaurant where I've got all the things, including fire extinguishers, you know, just in case.
Just in case.
Just
you
in
never
case
know.
something were to, you know, and maybe intern Sam there can
put out the fire.
Like a fire blanket of VR.
Yeah, that'll be a good way to test him out. Hey, put this out.
Yeah.
Is that's the challenge? She doesn't know he's doing.
Any
tomorrow?
advice?
Yeah.
Putting
Do
out
it.
the fire.
Yeah, that call to his parents of I'm sorry. We had an accident down at the studio.
Only some 3rd degree burns. It'll be fine.
Sam jumped on it.
That'll be good. You know what? And Kyle would love this too. We'll go to the Iron Rooster restaurant and we'll just have a fire and be like, it's for demonstration and for demonstration purposes, for educational purposes.
Although I think for me, you know, talking about injuries, I'm the one that I think has suffered the weirdest injuries, not in terms of like what they actually are, but how I suffer them. Like I broke my middle finger. I missed 2 baseball seasons in high school. One because both actually by my friends. One tripped me playing ultimate frisbee, which is essentially just tackle frisbee, and tripped me, fell on my collarbone, broke my collarbone like 2 days before the season started. Missed my entire year. Another one was doing pull-ups on a pull-up bar. Tried to like kick me, just because we had a game where we would try to just randomly kick each other in random places.
Sounds like a great. Like
both are non-contact sports.
And
Kevin was injured.
I stuck my hand out. My middle finger went straight back. Broke my.
Would
finger.
you say accident prone? Would that be kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I had an injury taking out the trash the other day.
Yeah.
I got this.
Dude, that's not an injury, Kevin.
It is.
That
look,
scratch.
Do you see my skin is green?
It's because it's the screen. I'm looking at it right now. It's
no. We're gonna do
as you put on your Mr. Olympia jacket to prove.
Yeah.
To Kevin.
Kevin, you're fine. You actually walking over here to show me? It's not great.
That's
He's getting
I don't know if that
second
required
opinion.
stitches, maybe like a butterfly.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I was looking at another one, Kevin. Sorry. Oh, that one, yes. I can see the
Kevin,
That's
the
not
pain.
the camera's not even on. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
I wish we had
Not
So
even
there's typically
close.
like a baseball player to a season that'll have some kind of strange injury. Like, didn't Freddie Freeman hurt himself in the?
Yeah, he had a surgically repaired ankle and then like slipped in the shower.
Yeah, stepped
There-
on a
there-
Lego. Or,
There are things like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Baseball players seem to have any crazy injuries on your side that happened outside the field of play.
Oh goodness.
Anything
Yes.
you could talk about.
I kind of remember some of these. Gosh, I feel like this Wednesdays can become story times as
Yeah.
well. I mean, I remember this differently, but I remember talking to like, there's been some injuries in the kitchen,
Yeah,
cutting,
that's usually where they happen.
and that's led to some injured list stints.
I've seen some gnarly ones in the kitchen.
Yeah. There's been some guys that gotten hurt riding, on the scooters.
Yeah.
There was a rumor that had it that my idol Shintaro Fujinami had a little tumble on one of the scooters here in Fells Point
Oh no.
in 2023. Apparently he's coming back and he tumbled, he ate it and just tore up his face there. I think, because he's a beast.
Yes.
He's fine because he's from the same world that Superman's from. So
Yeah.
he turned out being okay. But a lot of those types of things, I gotta go deep into the well on certain other injuries because there are some.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there are some that guys never admitted to that you knew wasn't the case. And there's
Kinda
some
like
that
Kevin Scratch over there.
yeah, like Kevin Scratch over there. You sound like you haven't seen this movie, so I'm just going to tell you. But Couples Retreat's a movie with Vince Vaughn and Jason Bateman, and they go on an island and they're trying to work on their relationships.
Good
Okay,
movie.
Kevin?
Yep.
And it's about relationships. Again,
Okay.
relationships, something that we talked about. You hate people.
No,
It's
I
about relationships.
I do not.
So they go in the water, and I guess a shark then approaches, right?
Mhm.
And so everyone swims in, and Vince Vaughn's very dramatic, and you might see some similarities in yourself from the scene. So he's going, save yourself, they got me, and he gets out of the boat, and he has this scratch, and he goes, I was bit. And it's like, it looked like you just cut yourself on the ladder getting out of the water. So kind of.
Well, I could have come on here and told a story about, I got this, I was wrestling a bear and I saved humanity from destruction.
Yeah.
But instead I decided to be honest. Instead I was taking out the trash. There was a metal door to the chute. The door wasn't fixed. It fell on my arm. And
We probably wouldn't have figured out the other story, so
yeah,
you probably could
well,
have stuck with it.
I am known for my strength.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there is one story as a
Khaki
kid. Khaki Kev. There is one story because I just saw Mutombo talk about Sidney Ponson had a hand injury during an altercation. I remember when Josh Towers, an Orioles pitcher from when I was a kid, was in the clubhouse. And I thought it's in Toronto. I got to check on this. But I remember being in the clubhouse. It was might have been my dad's last year. And I think I'm just playing PlayStation because it's on the road and I was allowed to just sit there when you're there, like you stay out of the way. So the game's going on, but when the pitcher's done, they come in. So the starting pitcher was Josh Towers. The outing did not go well, in his opinion. And all of a sudden I'm playing, might have been like NBA Street or something. And all I hear is these expletives and then wham. And I'm like, well, that was kind of terrifying. And Josh came in, recognized that I was in there and just said hey, Ryan, keeps going. Next day comes out that Josh broke his hand punching the wall.
wow.
Yep.
And I looked back, I'm like, I actually remember that,
Yeah.
So That was tough. Baseball's frustrating, but you also got to be careful when you go out there and you live your life and don't let the emotions get the best of you.
Yeah.
Dealing you're at home with kids and, they leave toys out. You slip.
Yep.
Fall.
I broke my dad's nose playing basketball.
Yeah.
I think I told you that one.
Yep.
He's broken his nose 7 times. One of them, Narniak, was during the All-Star game where he did get a guy was falling back on the bleacher and smacked him in the face, broke his nose. That was one of them. I was the last one to break his nose. Spin move back to my left side, dominant hand.
Yep.
He kind of guessed right, but you know what? He was kind of in there. So you know what? You reach, you get punished.
Yep.
And I had to punish him.
Yeah.
Bleeding, a lot of curse words. I learned a lot more words that day. Didn't know existed. And I'm kind of proud of that. So I said, what's one of your proudest moments when competing with your dad? I'm like, well, so competitive, I accidentally broke his nose.
Was it at that point that you knew you could beat him at basketball, or was it before then?
I think at that point I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like,
Did you ever play again?
I think we played a little bit later after that. It stopped the game currently.
Yeah.
But he didn't play too much after that. But I got to the point of beating him. No doubt about it. Everyone saw it. Yeah. Yeah, good times here. I'm seeing a lot of these stories about it. People forgot about Josh Towers. You can't believe how just heartless Kevin is. Khaki Kevin is as a person.
Yeah. Michael Morris. Remember Michael Morris? He took a punch, and that was the end of his career, basically.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You got to be careful out there.
Yeah. All sports have those weird injuries that happen that way.
Yeah, similar to yours. Saving humanity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what?
Kev does it again.
I do it.
I could see a whole show built around. Like he's a superhero, right?
I think it should be like Kevin accidentally keeps saving the day.
Oh,
like he's
yeah.
messing up and he somehow it leads to the day
Mr.
being
Magoo.
saved.
Did you ever see that cartoon, Mr. Magoo, where he would just be literally driving over a cliff and then knocks people out of the way of a train?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kevin just messes up and it just keeps on.
Oh,
he keeps saving the day.
That's a great show.
I love it. I love that idea.
Hey, Khaki Kev. Hey, you know what? It's all fun and games, until someone gets hurt. But it also still is a game, and it can be fun and it can be miserable. And kind of where I'm going with this is because our friend Zach, he likes to play games. He likes to play some bets.
Yeah.
And sometimes it goes really good. Sometimes it goes really bad. So why don't we take a quick trip up to our friends at Hollywood Casino and Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Beautiful. And Zach had a rough week last week, Kevin. I don't know if you know, he had the good old donut, good old goose egg, 0 for 3.
He was trying to. He was trying to go for all reliable and just failed you, Zach.
No, it's been rough. And last night, Jaron Duran, I asked for 0 for 5. That's just a tough scene.
Yeah.
0 for 5. And then, of course, I just check and he's 3 for 5.
That's how it goes.
So, of course, it is. So, here's what we're doing. You got to go back. We're talking all reliable. Just if you're going to bet on someone, you might as well make it the best hitter we've seen in decades. Aaron Judge, 2+ bases. Let's get back on the board versus Kikuchi. It's lefty, righty. I love it. Let's just put one out first at bat, and then we're not going to have to worry about it after that. So that's what we're going to do.
Have you seen that Matthew McConaughey commercial, the Lincoln commercial, and then Jim Carrey makes a spoof of it about, sometimes you got to go back.
Yeah, to go forward.
To go forward.
Yeah.
Lincoln. That's kind of how I feel, how I'm playing that in my head with you.
Sometimes you got to go back to go forward. Aaron Judge. Here we go.
This is how I also view in your situation. It's when you're 0 for 4 and you're like, damn, one hit right here. 1 for 5, my whole day
literally
is saved. And you feel like there's a chance. So for you, you're trying to break the 0 for 4, trying to get back on the horse. So Aaron Judge, 2+ bases.
Yep.
And hey, you know what? If you want to give that a try here, and we have places where you can give it a try. And actually, over under 2 seconds here. Mississippi.
Under.
There it is. ESPN Bet official sportsbook of ESPN, and it's also the sportsbook with Hollywood Casino up there at Charlestown Races. Hey, you bet 10, you get 100 in bonus bets, and on top of it, you sign up, you get ESPN Plus. First 30 days are on them, but you must be 21 or older to gamble. And if you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But appreciate our friends over there at ESPN Bet and our friends up at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races and West Virginia. Boom. Really good stuff. And we're also going up there at the end of June for a new show. Apparently, Mr. National, Ryan Zimmerman's going to join us, and there might be some Oriole representation that people may or may not have heard of, but we'll have to find out as we get closer to June 28th is the date that we will be up there. So, Kevin, if you forget that, June 28th.
June 28th. Well, I'm also excited to teach everybody how to take shots. And I know that, some people here don't know how to do that, aka everybody but me here. Not you, Kyle. I feel like you know how to take a shot, but
It's responsible.
Shots of liquor.
yeah.
Kevin, so you saw
enlighten us.
no. So Kevin,
It's an art form. It's an art
Kevin
form.
holds the shot in his cheeks like a chipmunk.
I appreciate him giving me the confidence that I know what I'm doing. So that made me feel better. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We don't have any tape. You can't even prove me.
oh, we have a lot of tape. We have a lot of tape that we can just pop it right up there and go, damn, Kevin doesn't know what he's talking about. And every time we go to Hollywood Casino, Kyle,
Look at Joey supporting me.
God, that was a flashback.
Yeah.
Look at Joe supporting me.
and Joey, no, for sure. But Joey can attest that it was sip and smile all the way down for everyone else except for Khaki K. And you know that song Tequila too, like dun 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 dun.
Yep.
Kevin kept the tequila in his mouth for the entire song.
The entire song, not even just the first verse.
Yeah.
No, it was.
That's how you take a shot.
First, you have to.
He almost like uses it as mouthwash.
First, you have to smell it to make sure that it doesn't get you and sneak up on you.
Okay.
Actually,
That's the opposite of what you should do.
Yeah,
Then you have to slowly drink it to make sure that you don't miss any. And if you have to do a couple sips, it's fine. And then you.
Well, that's not a shot then, right? If you're doing it more than in one
Yep,
sip.
that's what most people would say.
Well, it's like mini shots. And
Okay.
it's shots within a shot.
So you'd be happy in breaking up your shots into different shot classes.
Sometimes it can maybe be that way.
Yeah.
But then you sometimes have to hold it just to savor it. Right? You gotta savor, the taste.
Okay.
And then you just gotta get it all down. Just get it all down at once.
Even though it's mini shots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I've never heard that before. But
Zach and Ryan still need to learn the art form.
Mhm.
But
and that does what for the alcohol consumption? Is that a process you're letting it absorb into your bloodstream? Or
yeah, it gives you the alcohol powers. If that's
Okay.
what you want to call it. It helps enhance
Yeah.
the experience.
Powers.
Yeah. It helps enhance the experience.
Where did one learn this technique?
I just developed it over time.
Okay, so it's not a family thing passed down.
Actually, it is a family
Oh, it
thing.
is. Okay.
It is a family thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is this is something, and I'm learning something each and every day. Maybe in this case, would a vodka shot be better? Like if we get the Deep Betty vodka flowing for you, would that be better than the tequila shot for you?
Actually, what is actually easy for me is Malibu.
Malibu rum.
The rum.
Malibu is an easy shot for me.
So you're a sweet, so you want sweet rum.
I get
coconut.
one that I cannot, I will die on the spot is Ciroc. I cannot do Ciroc shots because of an unfortunate experience. Same with Fireball. I can't even eat cinnamon anymore.
Ooh, really? Fireball would be my go-to.
It used to be for me.
Yeah.
I used to love it. but-
So after we did the Ripken Rooster Rumble at the Iron Rooster, we all took shots for the members there, and we did toast, and everyone seemed like they sipped and smiled. I think some of them might have used your method, but if they did, I didn't see it, and I think it went pretty well overall. But I can show you some footage on that, little game footage. Actually, you can check out the Instagram page.
Oh wow.
Kyle and I collabed on it.
Yeah.
You can see a little cheers at the end there. But that is great. Goldschlager, Lara, no. That's
Ooh, I don't
that
know
was
if
a shot.
If you're born in the 1900s, you remember
If you were born in the 1900s, you know about that.
Goldschlager, or close on the cusp of the 1900s.
Oh.
Kevin, I can't believe did not take credit for being born in the 1900s.
I feel like I've disrespected too many people by trying to claim it.
All right.
So
I think you're at that age, though. I think you can still claim it.
No,
Right? What do you think, Zach?
like he said, born in the 1900s, and you go,
well, that's
And
why
they-
I said that, because technically I was, but
you were
like if
born.
I'm talking about was I a
It is a
90s
fact.
kid? I was like 2 years old.
Okay, yeah. You
Okay,
were.
yeah, but if you want to say if you're a 90s kid, I'd want to do that. But
Yeah.
born in the 1900s.
Well, I guess yes. That itself is a fact, but
Yeah.
I was going more on the lines of like,
yeah,
I'm not.
if
I'm
you
not a
weren't raised
90s
in the
90s
90s
kid.
kid, like then
Okay.
that's different.
Yeah,
I
okay.
agree.
All
That's
right,
different.
okay.
but
Well,
That's
do
more
this.
what I was
born
going
in the
for.
90s, I was like, that is a fact. That's not a like you can't just be like kind of like you were
So
born.
many things I want to say that I won't say about this whole thing. But you know what? Khaki Kev doesn't. We got to figure out a name for you, Zach.
Xylophones. No,
That's-
that's,
I wish your name.
Xylophones
I wish
with an
your name-
X.
that's what I just said. I said, oh, that's an act.
I wish you had an S in like your name began with an S. So we could call you sweatshirt. Is that sweatshirt Zach?
I'm in the sweatsuit today. Full girl.
He's in a full sweatsuit today, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Which you don't see often outside of the
Outside of-
1900s.
Since Florida.
Pauly
I haven't
from
worn
Sopranos.
this since
since last week,
no, I've worn
since
this
the car
before.
ride.
Since
Did you buy 'em together?
Since the no, actually, funny enough, they are a set. I bought them separately.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was
I got the
it goes
sweatpants
well.
first.
It goes really well together. I mean,
It is a set together. I just bought the sweatpants first, and then I got the.
Wait a minute. That
Yeah.
it's supposed to match.
Yes.
Shut the front door.
Are you serious?
The same color, and you got the bottoms and the tops. You got to be kidding me.
They were asking, Kevin.
what?
Oh, I just was.
I think I'm
talking to you.
confusing a lot of people. Of course, it's a set.
Yeah, he asked if I got them together. I said I bought them separately, but yes, they're supposed to go together.
yeah, he got the pants
But I got the
first.
pants first. and
No
then I would-
way.
then I saw the sweatshirt.
You
on
got a
sale.
matching set.
Yes, because it was the sweatshirt was on sale.
Wow.
So take us through the process. You got the pants and you were like, you know what's missing from these pants would
Yeah,
be the matching,
the matching
top.
sweatshirt.
And you went back.
More like I was in the store and I saw the sweatshirt on. This is both Old Navy and
So the same brand.
yes,
But not the
Kevin,
same
that was-
day.
Not the same day.
So you went back.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
This was a separate time, and I was like, oh, it's like
I like
sweatshirt.
those.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's rock it.
I got something that goes perfect with that.
Yeah, exactly.
With
Now
that
I got
sweatshirt.
the.
Were you wearing the? Were you wearing the pants at
No,
the time?
I should have though. Actually, I was wearing a different. I was wearing my.
Were you wearing
black
denim?
shirt. No,
Oh, okay.
that's I'm leaving the denim for denim to Sangro.
Denim de Sangro. I don't know what mine will end up being, but I feel like I'm a Letterman guy now. So-
I wish you had. I wish it was C. We could go cowbell. You had a-
Cowbell Calvin. Calvin
Oh,
Cowbell.
all right. Yeah, I like
Yuck.
that.
When I played in Aberdeen at
they do the,
Ripken Stadium,
cowbell.
they said, everyone get your cowbell out.
They
And
still do
I
that.
honestly, when I played there, I said, I want to speak to your management because this is terrible.
You complained.
I did.
Yeah.
They still do.
I went
that.
straight to corporate on that.
Yeah.
I'm like, do we think this is a fun game for people? All
I saw
right.
that when I was
It's disrespectful to
on
the
game
cows.
last year. If that popped up on the big screen, I was like, no way. Cow sitting there.
They have a video of him doing it.
Yeah.
Oh.
he's the
It's
one who does it.
unbelievable.
It's him going, get your cowbell.
And people wonder why I make
Yeah.
fun of that man
Yeah.
because you put yourself down like that.
Do
Hey,
you think he
cowbell.
knew at the time that that's what they were? You know, they probably had him shoot a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you had to know if they're
Yeah.
going to name it a cowbell because he brought it up to me when I did play up, so I know.
Okay.
It's like, what do you think of the cowbell? And I said, top 10 worst ideas I have ever heard of, I've ever seen.
That's where you developed your love for the cowbell.
Do you
That's-
think what were
no.
the other
Well,
ideas
oh,
that
that's a good
they
point,
that they
but not
passed
there.
on?
Oh no, well,
Because you know, there's always like 5 other ideas, and they're like,
well, there's been like a Cal Ripken. I don't even know what else you would add into that. You know,
growing up, that's what I was called Cal instead of Kyle, because I think it was just the pronunciation that people would have. So I feel that pain.
You know what's funny is here I'm laughing at some of this where Chris goes, I came here for a Basayo and prospect talk, which we did talk about, and kept hating people and putting shots in a sippy cup. I got. I mean, you come here, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know, when we had Buck Showalter on here last week during this cooking episode, Buck gave us a lot of baseball talk. And then all of a sudden he's talking about ripping people's ears off and that everyone's getting all clustered into his office because Kyle dropped off cherry roost tarts.
Yeah. It's
You know?
live TV. You're on a high wire here. You really have no net.
We have no net.
No net.
But we're having a good time with it, and we appreciate you guys. And honestly, while we're continuing
Thanks
to
for
build
sticking
this,
around.
yeah, we had a lot of people sticking around. And if you like this banter, but you like baseball, we do breakdowns all the time. We talk about a lot of things in the baseball world. We have other topics. I don't know if we're going to finish and get to here. We're going to try to, but we appreciate it. So hit that like and subscribe button. We do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday right here on YouTube and X. And we like to answer questions as we go. We do have great guests on, and I'm just going to hint, we might have some great conversations coming to our off-script Sundays. Last week we put out the Buck Showalter one, but let's just say that there is one very colorful former player who was a hell of a player. Spent a little bit of time in Baltimore, but he's known for wearing some different colors, but he did actually wear a lot of the black and orange, just wasn't in Baltimore. And I'm really excited for him. That will be a fun conversation. It might be somebody else that stops into the studio. And yeah, we like to have fun here at the end of the day. And if you guys join, be a channel member. It helps make this better. While we're cooking in here and doing this, is our growth from the community has allowed us to make the product better for you. We're trying to do more in the community. We're trying to do this every day of the week to bring it to you guys live. But it takes time, but all the donations there, if you join as a Holy Shirts and Pants member, as a Rips Good Kid, really comes back to here. It's about people helping people, and it's allowed for the evolution of us to have Kyle come in here and cook from the Iron Rooster.
Always happy to be here.
Yeah, see, that's where the evolution. Actually, Kyle was the one that was on me more about, hey, continue to be alive, continue to add more to it. So when he's like, hey, we're building something, why don't we come in here and make a 1900 staple Monte Cristo?
Hasn't been seen since the
Hasn't
1900s.
been. It hasn't been seen. It's got lost.
It did.
Got lost in the trend in the history books.
Well, we shined it up today, right? We went fried chicken and we went candy bacon. We love Wednesdays, right, Zach? We love Wednesdays.
Wednesdays are my favorite day of the week.
Yeah.
Wednesdays, without a doubt, are my favorite day.
Used to be Fridays, but I feel like we've turned the corner
Without a
on,
doubt, it's Wednesday.
Definitely
Yeah.
Wednesdays.
on the Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's been a fun road overall here. Do you guys want to try? We had a couple subjects to talk about real quickly. I think one thing I want to talk about from a human element, since we're on the human side of the game, I want to play this clip from Ronnie Simone yesterday. So if you guys are watching this, Ronnie made 3 errors in 4 innings last night for the Marlins. And you can see if you're watching this, he's visibly upset. He's holding back tears. Actually, he's not even holding back tears. He is crying. He's upset. And I think it just goes to show you, he just got up to the big leagues. He's trying to make a name for himself. He is currently 19 games into his big league career at 25 years old. And you feel for a guy like that. And you can see the emotion that he has. And Connor Norby, former Oriole, and with the Orioles organization, came out and said, hey, like, no one wants to go out there and have more success than the players. Have his back. And for the ones that are going to argue it's your job, you're professionals. Yeah, of course it's his job. But the human side of it is, how many times have you guys had a bad day, had a mistake, and you feel like it's magnified? And I know they say, oh, there's no crying in baseball. You know, stop me with that part. You know, and I get it. People are emotional. But that to me just goes to show people these are humans out there, right? Cheer passionately, support your team, but also realize these guys are not trying to go out there and mess up. I don't care how much they're getting paid. You know, I get it. You know, hey, they're playing baseball for a living, tough luck. Yeah, okay, I get it, man. It's great. They're playing. You want to talk about guys who in big moments maybe felt like they had some tough results? You want to go back in Baltimore to Mark Andrews in the playoffs? You could say, oh, he made a lot of money. It doesn't really matter. You don't think that mattered to Mark for the reasons for his team, his city, himself? a lot more that goes into the finances of playing professional sports. So I wanted to point that out because I feel for Ronnie. But the biggest thing right now, which I love, is how do you respond? How do you bounce back? That's life, right? Whatever you do in life, can you continue to find a way when failure strikes? How do you respond? And that's what I'm hoping for Ronnie, that he responds and goes out there and has a hell of a game whenever he's called upon next.
It happened in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people were.
Well, it was actually on the road. It was on the road.
I was saying, if it was at home, then probably nobody saw it.
It was in San Diego. It's out in San Diego. So that was that case. Wanted to do a quick clip with checking in on some other Orioles around the league. Terry Francona, who's one of my favorite listens, by the way. I just want to play this press conference from you or for you guys from Terry, talking about the offense and kind of taking a jab at the Reds. Or not the Reds, it's some of the media members for the offense. But he mentions a former Oriole. It's really kind of the staple there in Cincinnati. So let me play that clip for you guys.
4-7. It's, I believe, 5 straight games of scoring at least 6. Have you noticed? What's the difference you've noticed in the offense?
You know what? When you guys ask me that when we're not going good, I kind of default to we're going to. But I do think Val challenged these guys to be more aggressive and not go out of the zone. That's easier said than done, but they've done a really good job of that.
That's something he talked about specifically about Ellie a few weeks ago. He and I talked about that. And Ellie wasn't hitting a lot of home runs in, but he said with Hayes and Stevenson coming back behind him at the same time, you might start seeing more of it. Now we've seen 6 since then.
I think you've heard me say it about 10 times. Hayes is huge in our lineup. And Steve-O starts swinging like he's swinging. It makes a big difference. Hayes is a huge difference maker for us.
You heard it right there from Terry Francona. Who's the biggest difference maker for the Cincinnati Reds? It's Austin Hayes. And look, if Hayes can stay healthy for a full year, he can be a really good player because he's shown it. People forget he started the All-Star game, granted some injuries, but he was an All-Star just a couple seasons ago for the Baltimore Orioles. And so far as a Cincinnati Red, he is hitting .308 with 6 home runs, 3 triples, and 6 doubles in 30 games played this year. And Austin Hayes, OPS over 900 at the moment. Happy for him. He's still only 29 years old, going out there and playing well, going out there and doing his thing. So shout out that Austin Hayes is playing well. I love Terry Francona too, saying, hey, when things aren't going well, I'm probably just going to default to the regular answer. But when things are going well, we'll talk about it a little bit more. I think that's why people love Terry. He just says it how it is. And he said the biggest thing is challenging guys to really be disciplined in the zone. Really to be disciplined in the zone. Challenge them to do that. The Cincinnati Reds are trying to get that going here. So last thing around MLB, we'll get on out of here. I got to go down the.
Are we doing the challenge or are we just not doing
Oh, we're doing the challenge. I meant for like.
We actually have some breaking news. Kyle Gibson is staying in the AL East. He is signing with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Whoa.
John Heyman 5 minutes ago.
Whoa. So Kyle Gibson revenge game?
Oh, I hope not.
I swear he's going to go out there and pitch well. So Kyle Gibson signing with the Rays. I'll be honest here. I think that Gibby, it was like his spring training, to be honest. Like he rushed his progression. He had to face the Yankees. The team's not going well. I believe he's going to have better days ahead. So don't look at that ERA in 12 innings, and it was a rough 3 starts. I don't blame the Orioles moving on from him. But I do think he's going to have better days down in Tampa. And Tampa, look at them once again, just finding ways, Kevin. But Kyle Gibson, man, down to Tampa Bay. Do you feel emotional about that, Kev?
Emotional?
The second place Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
28 and 27.
I mean, that is what it is. I mean, if he has a revenge game, that's going to be annoying, but I'm not, I do agree with you, actually. And we saw it, I think, with Charlie a little bit, where he's looked better. Mm-hmm. Some of these other guys who didn't throw a ton during spring training or get those reps, they just look better for the most part, right? It doesn't always work that way, but,
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is what it is.
You know what? One thing I see guys saying, you're really hyping up Kyle Gibson. You guys are going to really get me on a tangent here with things. You're hyping him up. He was garbage for 12 innings. Kyle, appreciate you. Thank you. I will give you a call. I think that what I hate with certain guys is you're quick to judge and say people are washed and sit there and want to say that, and that's fine. Cool. He didn't pitch well. There's a difference between, is he going to be fully washed, or do you think that there's something still left in the tank and maybe they need to get right? And sometimes you're not going to get fully right. So Charlie Morton, when people are saying he's washed, a washed dude's not going to go out and pitch 6 innings, give up 2 earned runs the next time, and have an ERA under 4 the next month in May. So really his last 3 or 4 outings here. But you're going to say he's washed because he got off to a rough start on a team that was lacking culture and identity and structure. So now I'm getting a little bit angry about this. I'm not saying Kyle Gibson's going to go down there and be the guy. But let me ask you this. You get ready for a spring training. And then your spring training has to be when the season really starts. Do you feel better or worse about your situation?
Worse.
So Kyle Gibson, they signed him and said, dude, we need you. And I can guarantee you they said, Kyle, we know you're not ready. Can you give it to it? Can you go up there and give us some innings? And he said, sure, I got you. And he got lit the hell up. Because why? He wasn't, in my opinion, ready. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and do really well, but I want to make a point of this. We're so quick to judge in this day and age just how washed up people are. Kyle Gibson, the circumstances in Baltimore, yeah, it was brutal, and that's more than just because he is quote-unquote washed. So that is that's just kind of how I get at it. And stuff was not good at all. People were trying to get on Charlie Morton about it. Even when I said, you go watch the tape on Charlie, his stuff's not bad. I'm just saying, I get that fires me up at times. I'm going to watch Gibby. If he's pitching bad after 3, 4, 5 more starts, yeah, for goodness sake, you can go, hey, he's done. 3 starts on the second worst team in the American League with no culture set in sight. I'm going to give him a pass there when he was only ramped up to throw 70 pitches once in the big leagues. He had 1 start against a high A team, another start in AAA, or 2 starts in AAA. And Kyle, get on up here. Face the best hitter in the world and the best team, second best team in the American League in Aaron Judge and the Yankees. Oh, goodness. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry. I get a little irritated when we throw around the terms washed when a guy just last year had the full preparation and was a serviceable big leaguer. All of a sudden, after 12 innings, he's washed. There are certain words. You guys want to get me fired up? We can throw that. They can get me fired up on that. Zach, go ahead.
I just think right now, I mean, Kyle Gibson, I don't think he's going to be, anything special in Tampa, but I do think that is a much better spot for him right now. It's only because Tampa just finds a way to get the best out of everyone, especially on the pitching side. So I'm excited to see what he does down there. I just think right now, the way the Orioles were set up, I just don't think it was anyone coming up was going to have success being rushed up to have to try to save this rotation. So unfortunately for Kyle, he kind of just got the short end of the stick where they didn't have more time that they could let him go. If he wasn't going to be able to help the team immediately and he was hurting them in the 3 games he pitched, then they just had to cut their losses and move on. So, I think, and it was the same with Charlie Morton. I think, had he not gone out and pitched the 6, 2-run game, I think they very well, if he would have had another blow up start, maybe then you see a guy like Trevor Rogers take his position. But like you said, Rip, he's starting to put it together again. So now it's like, but they didn't have that time for Kyle Gibson. Once he kind of 3 games in, wasn't producing at the level that they needed him to, they had to go, because of the situation they're in where they have to win almost every game, they didn't have time to let him get back up to speed.
They didn't marinate. I'm not saying out there Kyle Gibson's going to be the difference maker for teams. That's not what I'm saying. But here's the example. He had 4 starts for the Baltimore Orioles. He faced the Yankees, was his first outing. Hey, welcome back to the big leagues. Faced the Bronx Bombers, who you stole game 1, and then you get lit up game 2. That's welcome back, Kyle. The other game, Kansas City, pretty good team. He gave up 3 earned runs. LA, yeah. You know his last start? You know what start he had to make that on? What day that was? The day Brandon Hyde got fired. So your fourth start there, Kyle Gibson's doing that. Here's one more thing. Do you want to guess what Kyle Gibson's ERA was last year? He had this first start. He gave up 2 earned runs. Do you want to guess how many earned runs he gave up the next 2 outings?
No, I have no idea.
11. And then he had a 4.24 ERA for the entire rest of the season. Pitched a 3.33 ERA, 3.97, 4.91. Had a really bad month in August and had a 3.27 to close out the 2024 campaign. So, look, I think we're quick to judge and get impatient with players, and maybe this rant is not about Kyle Gibson. Maybe this rant's about some other players, Kevin. You feel that? Maybe that's targeted elsewhere.
We got it. We got Ranting Ripken.
Ranting Ripken. It might be that.
Ryan. There we go.
It might be that. And I agree. I don't think that they should have gotten rid of Charlie or of Kyle. I didn't like that move because unless you have someone else that's going to come up and get the spot, I would have been fine with keeping him. But I'm curious. We'll find out. But I'll tell you a team that continues to battle, that had the least expectations, but always seems to exceed those, is Tampa Bay. Every single year.
Yep.
No doubt about it here. And last thing, though, let's talk about that team down the road who lit up the Orioles when they came to Baltimore. Swept the Birds here for the first time in a while. But Ken Rosenthal was very critical of Mike Rizzo on some of their drafts. So I want to play that clip first from Foul Territory. Then we're going to get into Mike Rizzo's comments back. And then Kevin's going to shoot to see if he has to do the fitness test. But let's play that clip for you guys.
Organizational failure, but to me, it seems like, dang, this is what Mike Rizzo was supposed to be great at.
Certainly, when you're the president of baseball operations and you have a scouting background and your drafts have not been good, there is a measure of responsibility that falls on Rizzo. And yes, ownership is part of this too, a big part of it, because the resources for other things have not necessarily been there. And maybe the resources even for the amateur side and the international side haven't been there as well. I'm not entirely sure of that. But absolutely, Rizzo has a measure of responsibility. He also said this was in 2022 that this was going to be a shorter reboot. Well, it's 2025 and we're still going. So sure, he's the president of baseball operations. He is someone who is responsible, but it's never just one person in any of these situations.
Okay, so he's right. The Nationals, they used to have that high farm system way a few years back. Now it's not even a few years back. And they've had some trouble. There's no doubt about it. But part of it is how you reconstruct and who you build it around. So Mike Rizzo talked on 106.7 The Fan down in D.C. So I want to play a part of that clip for you guys. And we're going to talk about it for a quick second.
Pick at certain draft choices and picks and that type of thing over the last years, and you could find some faults there. But when I look at we've run some of the the great players in the game through our system. We've drafted some of the great players ever. We've drafted guys low in the draft that have won Cy Youngs and that type of thing. So there's. I just thought the timing of the article was odd because we were playing good and we really are seeing the fruits of this frustrating rebuild coming to fruition. But I'm still optimistic. The needle of this team and this organization is pointed north, and it's going to continue to do so until we start winning championships, which I think is in the very near future.
So the Nationals are 6 years removed from winning a World Series title. And I do agree with Rizzo, Zach. They had Trey Turner. They had Bryce Harper. They had Juan Soto. They had Steven Strasburg, which we know helped them win the championship. It hadn't been the same after that. Mr. National Ryan Zimmerman, the first ever pick for the Washington Nationals. They've had some good players over the years. But the bigger part was none of those guys ended up staying, or at least are a part of the team now. Ryan Zimmerman retired. Strasburg had to retire because of injuries. And then you're looking at Bryce signs with Phillies. Trey Turner gets moved out west. So same with Max Scherzer. And then, Juan Soto, you make the big trade, which I think that's the thing that needs to be judged on, and who they traded Juan Soto 4, that actually is a slam dunk, incredible trade when you look back at it. And I know O's fans, you're sitting there going, wait a minute, the Orioles have made trades and not all of them have panned out. People look at the Manny Machado trade. The only piece that's really left from that is Dean Kramer in that deal for Manny Machado. For the Washington Nationals, let me read this back again. They acquired C.J. Abrams, their starting shortstop, who was an all-star last year, right, Zach? I believe he was last year. Mackenzie Gore, that looks like he's going to be an ace in the future. Really electric stuff as a lefty. Robert Hassel, who just made his debut recently. Looks like a good player. But then above all, you just landed the next superstar in James Wood. And make no mistake about it, Zach, James Wood's a superstar.
Yeah.
Absolutely a superstar here. So if you're going to judge them on some of their struggles in the draft, at least give credit where those 4 pieces might end up being the future of the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you want to say that they've drafted differently or maybe at that aspect, have failed, in getting enough talent there. But like you said, James Wood by himself is made that trade worth it. So, I mean, they have a superstar there. They have C.J. Abrams, like you pointed out. I mean, it just feels like the young core they've built is there. Dylan Cruz, I think is still going to be a very good player.
Mm-hmm.
He was the obvious choice at number 2. Once Paul Skeens was off the board, you had to go with Dylan Cruz. So it's hard for me. Yes. Do I think the Nationals could have, if we want to talk about free agency, do I think they could have made a bigger run at things this offseason? Yes. Maybe supplemented a little bit better around the young core. Yes. But I can't look at what they've done, especially look at the young talent they have and say, hey, they're failing at this rebuild. I feel like they're in as good of a spot as any team who's coming kind of on that up and coming right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, James Wood, he's already got 14 jacks on the season. And I'm just looking at it and I marvel when I talk about a player like that because he's 22 years old. And your goal, if you're giving up a superstar, is can you get the biggest bang for your buck? Now, you worked with a GM and a group in San Diego that said, hey, screw the prospects. It's kind of like with the Rams. F those picks, and we'll take what we have right now, and we'll handle that problem another day. The Nationals, though, they hit right on that. And if Mackenzie Gore stays healthy, he's a big part of that team. James Wood is 22 years old. And currently right now, like I said, 14 jacks, 13 doubles, and he has an OPS north of 900 at 927. That's 11th best in baseball. And I'm not mincing words with this. James Wood is going to be a top 5 player in the next 2 years. If not, he'll get there sooner. That's what I truly believe in based off of his progression. If he continues to do this, he's going to enter that list of guys that, damn, you're watching some greatness. And his power the other way into center field is so Chris. Get that, Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No.
He's a great player, man. And I'm excited, but I do understand with teams. The Nationals are still not where they want to be record-wise. They still have some work to do. Part of it is how their team develops. And also, though, you're in that spot because those big-time pieces that you had left. And not talking about trading Soto, other players that you didn't retain, and you really had to do a full rebuild. And so I'm curious to see, but they said 6 games under 500. I think they will be big spenders in the offseason, but time will tell. But hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe on Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on X and YouTube. And again, you guys join to become a Rips Good Kid or a Holy Shirts and Pants fan. We appreciate you guys. And also part of the Ryan Ripken Media. Kevin and Zach Reacts. You guys see them every night after an Orioles game. Win, lose, or whatever you want to consider it. Sometimes Kevin and Zach are there for you. You can call in over there and do your thing. And so we appreciate them. Go subscribe to that channel at this moment in time. Guys, do we do our fitness test real quickly? Do we want to do the shots? Are you going to change the angle?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we got to check on how the voting's going for this poll. It's going to be the lunges.
Is that with the vest?
Yeah.
With the vest, and if you're feeling froggy and frisky, it's going to be with the kettlebells.
I would say probably just the vest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are my fire, the one desire. Like my voice, Zach? I don't think you believe it. Kevin, is that you starting it though? And British Raven and Joe, I've seen it. We're going to end our show with the message, or at least we'll do it right now. I wanted to save it for the end of the show. But on another note, and Joe, appreciate the donation, but the bigger message with Rick Arnold, mom just passed away, friend of the show, end of the community. Thoughts and prayers with Rick at this time in the family. You know, it's the mother to me was always the anchor of the family, you know, all the way through and through all the support, through all the good times, the bad times. And for Rick, I want you to know we're thinking of you. We're sending our best to you. Thoughts and prayers, love you, and everyone else out there. Again, hold your loved ones, tell them you love them, because you never know when the opportunities won't be there to say that anymore. But may she rest in peace, Rick, and our thoughts are certainly with you and your family at this time. Amen. Amen. All right. Kevin, did you get some practice in?
All right, so how are we doing?
So do you want to put the camera on them? I think I'm boy band material. No? All right, so Kevin, how many shots do you want?
What are we doing?
I think you get
3 shots.
3 shots.
Out of 4? Yeah.
No, you get 3 shots.
To get a hook shot in? Why are we hook shots? Why are we doing hook shots? Okay, I was just saying doing 3. I'm gonna come over here and commentate a little bit.
Kevin, how about you choose the spot? Where do you want to shoot from?
Yeah, Kevin. Come on.
No.
No.
Kevin.
Kevin, come back. We'll do it
If
from.
you do that again, you automatically lose.
We will automatically. Yeah, from there. 3 shots.
Everyone give it up for Kevin.
Woo!
Boo. Goodness gracious. We're going to have to get.
Okay, 0 for 2. Come on, Kevin, put some. 0 for 3. Okay, just shoot the 4. Kevin, you did.
This is impressive. I'm not even mad.
Not a single one's gone in.
If you keep shooting and you don't make,
there it is. All right, Kevin, I guess. That's
14 shots.
okay.
Yeah, we're getting a lot. We're building a foundation here with all the bricks Kevin just laid for us. What? So you're 2 of 3 on hook shots. Now it's downhill. Okay. All right, Kevin. All right, Josh Birnbaum, get on the scale, son. Get off the scale. Zach, 3 shots.
I'm injured.
Yeah, you survived that trash can.
He should lose just for that.
Oh, my goodness. All right. 0 for 2.
Oh, yeah.
No one's made
Sudden
it.
death
All right.
time. I'm not out yet. Ryan's just going to make all of them, so I'm not even.
Here we go. That first one. So.
Yeah, that was something. See, we both can't make it out.
What was that, Kevin?
Should I leave the jacket on or off?
4 3.
All right. See if I can get a shot.
So right here. Yep. That's
balls slippery?
I don't know. Kevin.
These balls are slick, and I haven't touched them.
This is getting bad, guys. Sorry about that.
No, they're not.
So right here?
Yep. Oh, for one.
Still a chance. Still a chance. Still
As
a
a
chance,
show, this
still
could
a
be
chance.
really bad.
Oh, let's go. I'm not out yet. Double.
Okay, everyone shoot 3.
All right, now I'm back
No,
in.
now it's just shoot 1 if you were going to go and shoot on this.
This is such a bad look as a show.
I hate myself. Yeah, go ahead. All right, Zach. I hate everything about me right now. It's terrible. Disappointed.
I'm so excited that he loses. Oh, no!
I'm just disappointed in all of us.
This is tough.
Right here?
Yep.
I have to take the jacket off here in a second.
Kevin's so excited.
Jacket might come off.
No way. Yes. Come on.
All right. But what if we all make it?
Oh! No way.
All right, so I gotta keep the jacket on.
You have to at this point.
Man, this is.
All right, I'm officially out.
You can get first shot.
No, you can go. You want me to go?
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
This is embarrassing.
So bad.
I'm not even happy about it.
No!
Go get the vest. I'm so disappointed in myself.
I finished him first.
We gotta fix it again. Yeah, we gotta get it so they can see Zach do it. So we'll take it on back here. Take it on back. Gosh, that was tough. He's gonna. Are you doing with the weights?
No, I'm just going to do that.
You want to add?
No, I don't want to add.
Yeah, I can like guitar. Woof. All right. Let's see what we got here. Not happy about it. Can you hand me my laptop while you're at it? Thanks. I was really disappointed in my my shot, especially since I have the record on this Papa shot.
Yeah, what do you?
Kevin's reaction,
like
of
90
just
something?
pure excitement
93.
when he made everything worth it.
I was so prepared to have to eat the sandwich and do the food challenge.
Well, so Zach, you can move on back, and we're going to do 40 lunges. And shout out Merit Clubs here, as Zach is going to do our fitness club challenge. And once again, you guys want to be a part of this. Well, maybe not this part of it, but you want to be a part of what we can do at Merit Clubs. Hey, go to meritclubs.com. And first month, you go there for 12 days. You get the second month for free. Offer's good until June 15th, by the way. So get those steps in, or just go to the pool for 12 days, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. Ready? Let's do it. Is that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? You guys thought we were just a sports show. 9, 10. Keep going. I think you keep got to go continuous, though. Come on. Keep going. You should have done it with the weights. Maybe not. Is that 20? How you feeling over there as we watch, Zach?
I felt better.
He's felt better. Keep going. Come on. Hey, good form. Good form. Sports, cooking, exercise. Yeah, you're darn right. That's what we do here at the Ryan Ripken Show. Hit that like and subscribe button. Look, it's like the arena right here. Hey, you're not stopping. Let's go. Hey, I'm going to add 10 more on for that if you don't keep going. He's acting like this is a challenge. He's acting like this is hard. Hey, don't touching. Focus. Is that 38? 39? Come back this way. One more. One more to show us. There you go. And shout out Merit Clubs again. And shout out Zach Bollinger for being this week's Fitness Club
loser.
Well, that too. But we appreciate it at Merit Clubs. And again, check out meritclubs.com. We got some great groups, man. We have some great sponsors that continue to want to help us in the process and want to continue to give more and more. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And for my Holy Shirts and Pants group, because of all that and your patience, especially because we had a little snafu with the O's Are Fine shirts, don't worry. They're still coming your way. But because of that, we're working on getting something for, let's just say, a little bit of a maybe get together, that little goodie basket from our other group that wants to help out here and wants to continue to say thank you and give back. So appreciate Deep Eddy Vodka. We'll be cooking cocktails when we get my mother Kelly coming in here. She's ready to cook up a few recipes when it comes on to this. Some concoctions. Concoctions. How do you feel right now?
I felt better. The glutes are on fire, but it's Fit Boy Summer, so here we are.
Fit Boy Summer? Yeah. I consider it all. It's Fit Boy Summer and Hot Guy Autumn are the two that I'm working for.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that. But you know what? Anything else at the moment? It's been a great show. We appreciate you guys tuning in. And it's always a pleasure to have the Iron Rooster for what we can look forward to tomorrow. Okay? Maybe if we have some people behave, we'll get the call-ins back for our Thursday. We also have potentially 2 guests that will be joining us. We did just see that Mark Andrews spoke, right? I think to the media.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that and maybe some conversations around the other tight end in Baltimore. I'm just saying, maybe we'll talk a little bit of Ravens tomorrow. Maybe we'll have some more information on some other big name baseball people. And above all, we're going to have a hell of a time while we do this. Kevin, any final words here today?
No, I am the best basketball player here. You saw it today. I won the challenge, and I can't wait to prove it all again next week.
The O's are fine.
The O's are fine.
They are. Maybe.
The O's are fine.
Not really. But
and Khaki Kevin does not like people. Cue the music.
I don't know how to do the music. Is
Top
it this
button. There it is.
Is it this button? Oh, let's go.
As always here on the Ryan Ripken Show. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking Wednesday. We'll be back for all types of activity tomorrow right here on the Ryan Ripken Show. See you guys.